who's misbehaving. Everybody's raving. King Frat. Anyone who comes here surely wants to live like King Frat.
Hello and welcome to another episode of The Grindbin. I'm Mike Wood.
And I'm Bobby Trippett.
And today we're talking about 1979's King Frat.
Hey, Bobby, I got the money.
Yeah, I made the king. But you're a hooker.
Get that goddamn thing out of your mouth.
I didn't say it, knockers. I don't know.
Spooky ain't got no real rhythm.
Hello, Mr. Man.
We're gonna play a little game, baby.
I just love funny games. Get a little girl all hot and horny.
This is Los Angeles.
Oh, the hell with women's live. I'm horny.
And maybe Daddy wouldn't have had to kill himself because he couldn't get it up anymore.
What a shame.
It's for jacking off.
Come on, just step on the gas before we get cream.
So, Bobby, King Frat.
Well,
We're back into the comedy realm on The Grindbin,
you know,
which is...
it's gotten pretty dark. It's gotten pretty grim.
God,
We've
we
been
needed
spending a
something.
lot of time with people getting cut up in New York.
Yeah, so we did a movie that came from you. Highly recommended from you, actually.
Yeah,
months ago on this show.
I mentioned this over a year ago, first time.
King Frat.
Yeah, I've brought it up a long time ago. I've been like, guys, we got to get around to this one.
You know what's funny is I can pinpoint the exact moment you mentioned this movie.
Oh?
Because boy, do we have a connection in this one. Oh boy, do we have
You'll
a
see.
connection.
You'll
Yeah.
see. There's a couple connections, I'm betting.
There are, yeah.
Yeah,
a couple Grindbin All-Stars in this
I
movie.
feel like this movie has hung heavy in the room for most of our episodes.
Yeah, it's like
You
we're
can
going to get
kinda-
to it, you know.
You can kind of feel it in the air. You could sense that
King
that
Frat's
this
coming.
was there.
Yeah. And as you were saying before we recorded, it's kind of good to go back to a screwballs type universe.
And
the
that's
Grindbin.
why I pushed so hard for this recently. And I said, guys, we gotta do this. And you know, Tanner and Man both went, fuck you. I'm not even gonna be on the episode. But you, Mike, you were like, you shall have my axe.
I'm ready to go.
And because as much as I enjoy the grit and the grime of these thrillers, these horror films, the stuff that we've been doing, I think we got to get back to the other side. We got to get back to the Here Come the Boys comedy.
Yes, and we're finally here with King Frat, or as I like to call it, not Animal House.
That's definitely what they were not trying to be.
Yep, not at all, right? We're not going to
possible-
cast not Belushi in this movie. We're not going to cast, a Dean, everything. It's fucking Animal House, but with less things.
Did you feel like Animal House was a little too classy?
Yeah. That's what... Yes, Animal House was too classy.
Like, it didn't go far
We
enough.
need some sort of farts in Animal House, right? They didn't fart enough.
What if Animal House was 99% about farting?
Yeah. And 1% about shitting your
Because
pants.
I got to tell y'all, listeners at home, dear listeners, if you haven't seen this movie yet, it is called King Frat because that word, if you kind of squint a little, looks like fart.
Yeah.
This movie is about farting.
This is 76 minutes of fart
Jokes.
Yeah.
Your uncle
Not
is
even-
going
I
to
would
love
say-
this movie.
here's the
Not
thing,
yours
though.
specifically, Mike, even though I am gazing into your
Oh,
eyes right
actually,
now.
Uncle Carl would love this movie.
Well, I hadn't met the man, so I didn't want to make any assumptions about the man.
When I post this onto Twitter, it's almost guaranteed that Uncle Carl would be like, oh, classic.
Got it on laser.
Yep, definitely got it on laser. No, King Frat.
More people need to get it on laser. That needs to come back around.
Here's the thing. Farts aren't even like a joke. They're just like a plot. In this movie, like farting is not even used as a punchline. It's just used
Because
as
in the
to
universe
accentuate
of
scenes.
King Frat, farting is really more a way of life.
Yes, farting is like dialogue in this movie. Like there are multiple points where people will be asking somebody a question and they just farts the answer. And it's not even a punchline. People are just like, oh, okay.
Like, take Terrence and Phillip from South Park.
Yeah.
And take it seriously as an art form.
And it's King Frat.
It's King Frat.
Yeah. So the director of this movie, Ken, Wiederhorn?
All right.
12 directing credits. 1977, Shockwaves was his first movie.
Is that the movie about Nazi zombies?
Nazi zombies attacking people on an island.
yes.
Yeah,
That
he
movie's
made it.
rad.
He made it. 1981, Eyes of a Stranger.
Okay,
Which has
okay.
a great poster that I've posted on the Facebook before. It's like a woman in a phone booth with eyeballs all around her.
Ooh.
It's like she's swimming in a sea of eyeballs. It's a really great poster. 1984, he directed Meatballs 2. They got the right guy.
This is where he caught the bug.
That's where it's like, who do we get to direct a sequel for Meatballs? That guy who did the fart movie. Good choice. 1988, Return of the Living Dead 2. 1989, Dark Tower. as Ken Barnett. He changed his name for that movie. I don't know why. It's just some sort of haunted skyscraper movie, which for some reason he wanted to go
on
under a
paper,
pseudonym.
I'm there.
Yeah. Also, by the way, the poster, which I'm going to post to the Facebook, it'll be out before this episode, is amazing, Bobby. It's a skyscraper shaped like a coffin.
Fuck yes.
It is fucking great. It's like people walking into it, and it's like a skyscraper with like a silhouette of a coffin around it. I was like, now that's a poster. Thank you very much.
Oh, I'm looking at it right now. That's fantastic.
Right? God,
I need to see that
I almost
movie.
want it. Then he went on to direct 7 episodes of Freddy's Nightmares.
That's coming to the mini bin.
Yes, it will be. October's coming up. That and Werewolf. And then 2 episodes of 21 Jump Street, which we just talked about on a mini bin.
Wow.
Don't worry, I checked. It was not the episode where Johnny Depp's girlfriend gets shot. Spoiler, that's how they explain it on Fox, so it's not a spoiler at all. Listen to our mini bin if you want to hear all about Johnny Depp's girlfriend getting shot and killed in a liquor store on the first second of a 21 Jump Street. And then he directed 5 episodes of Dark Justice. Have no idea what that is. 1993, he directed a movie called A House in the Hills, which is Michael Madsen as a deranged killer. So not a stretch, but that's what he did. The writer of this movie. Now, do you know anything about this movie, Bobby? Any sort of the background?
You know, I
people?
hadn't looked up any of the background.
Oh, man.
I'm looking it up right now as we're talking about
Okay,
it.
well, here you go. The
Oh
writer
my
of this
God.
movie, Ron Kurz, who went by Mark Jackson. Now, not the Mark Jackson from Rima that we know, and not the Mark Jackson that's the ESPN analyst. It's another guy. He just called himself Mark Jackson. But, Bobby, he has 13 credits, and, man, he has one really big credit.
Well, I'll go ahead and get into it.
He
Uncredited, was one of the writers for the original Friday the 13th and then wrote the script for Friday the 13th Part 2. Mm-hmm. He is ostensibly the true father of Jason Voorhees.
Yeah, because he's credited with creating the characters
He wrote
in the other movies.
And because he wrote the one where Jason comes back as an adult.
yeah. So he...
Because Sean Cunningham famously never intended to do that.
yeah. So he is maybe the creator of Jason.
He is credited as such, all the way down to short films and comic books.
Yeah. And he wrote King Frat.
Literally all he did was...
Guys, I got an idea. What if Jason farts a lot? What if his killing method is farting? And they're like, okay.
Is that what that sound was all this time?
Oh my God. No. It's just a slow down fart.
The gassy killer of Crystal Lake.
1981, he also wrote that Eyes of the Stranger movie.
Wow.
That
That seems to be everything
It's going
he's
to keep
done.
coming up, man. They really got the band back together with that one when you get into the cast, too. 1983, he wrote a movie called Off the Wall, which is...
The Michael Jackson biopic.
no, it's a prison break movie with Paul Sorvino and Rosanna Arquette.
All right.
He wrote that. Then we get on the cast, John DeSanti, who plays J.J. Grossout Gombrowski, or as I call him, not Belushi.
Right.
Because, man... Can we get a guy that looks like Belushi, but he's not Belushi? Of course. Just get any fat guy with black hair. And that's what they did. 59 credits. His first movie was 1974's Lenny, believe it or not. He was in the Lenny Bruce biopic starring Dustin Hoffman and directed by Bob Fosse. Yeah, he was in that movie. 1979, he was in Hot Stuff. Dom DeLuise and Jerry Reed. And I guess they couldn't get Bert for that one. And
Instead, they got the guy from King Frat.
yeah, well, no, the character he plays in that movie is, quote, gay thief.
Okay.
So, man. 1980, Hardly Workin', which is, they say on the poster, Jerry Lewis's first movie in a decade. And I write, who cares? If you look at the fucking poster of that thing, by the way, god damn it. Like, I see this Jerry Lewis poster, and I'm just like, fuck this. Like, was this ever considered good? He looks like a fucking jackass.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, God. I don't even know if there's a modern equivalent because they don't make movies like that anymore, but thank God. Thank God. I don't know if you're a Jerry Lewis fan or not, but Jesus
terribly.
Christ.
I mean, I respect his contribution to the history of comedy, but I'm not.
Yeah.
Not particularly.
Do you
a big
remember
fan.
how, like, he just said, yeah, I'll do, like, what they did in those silent movies, but now. Because that's all he does is, like, if somebody's fucking stealing Buster Keaton's act in 1970, it's Jerry Lewis. Okay. 1980, he wrote a movie called There Goes the Bride. Or, I'm sorry, he was in a movie called There Goes the Bride. 1981, he was in Eyes of the Stranger. So he's keep coming back to that. 1981, here's a movie. It's called Nobody's Perfect, and perfect is spelled with a K instead of a C. Here's the background. the story of a group of misfits living in Miami and their revenge against government bureaucracy. After the city refuses to pay for the damage to their car caused by a pothole, the three friends, including one with constant short-term memory loss, so Memento, I guess, and another one who is always jumping from personality to personality, it's strange that these are friends, decide to steal an army howitzer and, quote, persuade the mayor to change his mind. So somebody apparently saw that and stole a tank in San Diego and recreated Nobody's Perfect on the San Diego freeway.
Wow.
Which is eventually what happened, as you know. The old famous story of a man stealing a tank. I'm going to have to see Nobody's Perfect. 1986, he was in Running Scared, the Billy Crystal one. 1987, he was in Batteries Not Included. He's in a whole bunch of big movies.
Yeah, he's getting a lot of work.
Not Belushi from King Frat, all over the place. Farting all over the place. Charles Pitt, who plays Fred, Grindbin All-Star.
Oh.
And this is where I know you mentioned King Frat. Bobby, you don't remember him? Our old tennis pro from a movie called Moving Target.
Oh, man.
This is
You're
him.
kidding.
No, this is him.
I had no idea.
The tennis pro, the guy who treats Linda Blair like shit and tries to have sex with his own daughter in Moving Target, which is, I got to say, probably one of the best Grindbin episodes. Love
it was
that
pretty
one.
great.
He's in this movie. Yes, he is. He's only in like 6 things, and this is one of his things. King Frat, baby. Robert Small, who plays Kevin. 29 credits, including 1983's Spring Break, a Sean Cunningham movie. And 1986's Flight of the Navigator is in that.
Mm-hmm. Also played a doctor in The Transporter 2.
Yeah, that was weird. Is like
So
military
Kevin,
doctor or something?
starring alongside Jason Statham. As you knew but even back then, you knew that's where he was destined to go.
Of course. Dan Fitzgerald, who plays the Dean.
Uh-oh.
Grindbin All-Star, Invasion USA.
Playing one of the veteran cops.
Yeah, he played a cop. He's also in a ton of stuff.
I'm going to argue, too. I won't say the title just yet, for sake of surprise. I know some listeners don't like to know beforehand, but he will appear again on the Grindbin.
Oh, very interested. He was also in Police Academy 5, Eyes of a Stranger. Seems like that might need to be on the show at some point, right?
Because it's nothing but Grindbin All-Stars.
Just King Frat 2, apparently.
King Frat 2, Ass of a Stranger.
Hey!
Thank you.
And he's in a lot of other crap. Tom Tully, who plays Officer Percy, lots of credits. He was also in that Nobody's Perfect, with a K instead of a C movie, and Porky's 2, The Next Day. Why is it called The Next Day? So, literally, it just takes place one day after Porky's? Because the poster says...
I've never watched a Porky sequel.
Yeah, neither have I, but here's the thing is, I remember Porky's, and I don't remember it taking place at a single day, but maybe it did, right? I haven't seen the movie in forever, but the poster for Porky's 2, The Next Day, says, if you thought the night before was great, wait till you see the next day. And I was like, did Porky's take place at night? Although I think only everybody just remembers one scene from that movie, which you're like, all right, I think I'm good.
Because no one's watching Porky's now.
No. I think everybody watched it through a peephole, and they were done.
That's it.
He was also in a movie called 1983, Blue Skies Again. Here it is. Okay. It's about a woman joining a baseball team, and I just want to read you. It stars Mimi Rogers. I just want to read you the tagline, Bobby. This is from the poster. A woman on a major league team? Exclamation point.
Record scratch.
What does she think this is? A game?
The hell? Jesus.
1983. That's what sold the movie. They put a woman in a baseball uniform and people walk past it. They're like, what? They couldn't believe it. That's all I got for the background, actually. I don't know if you have anything else to add, but...
that's about it.
Yeah.
I know that it had a different title in other parts of the world. I guess Frat doesn't mean anything in some places. It was called Campus King.
Yeah.
I will mention that the poster for this film is a Grindbin All-Star itself.
Oh, that's
true.
true.
As almost no one could possibly notice had they not been looking at the poster beforehand, it is one of 2 posters that is on the dorm room wall for our Casanova in the movie Pieces, previous Grindbin episode.
And he would, right?
Incidentally, Friday the 13th and King Frat are the 2 movie posters this kid has on his wall.
Are you fucking kidding me?
What's the Ron Kurz connection?
Holy shit.
Yeah. Had to be a friend,
I didn't see
right?
anything with him in Pieces. He must have done something.
There is
with that.
one scene in his dorm room, and that's the 2 movies he has posters of.
Either that
that's
or
got to
like
be a shout out to his buddy.
They just must be a huge Ron Kurz fan.
Who isn't at this point?
I mean, he got Bruce Lee in the movie in pieces. He couldn't get Ron.
Man, we have our own 6 degrees of the Grindbin here.
I know, this is starting to get weird. I'm starting to think
this
that
goes all the way up, Mike.
everything comes back to Screwballs 2 in one way. I really think we could do a 6 degrees of Screwballs 2, and it would work out.
I think so.
Yeah, but Screwballs 2 and I forget the
Even
other
recently
movie.
discovering with a movie poster you shared on our social media that the young man on the poster actually features in Screwballs 2.
That's right, yeah, he was the principal.
Yeah, blew
Yeah.
your mind, I recall.
Because I was like, what? That was a weird poster. It was something like the curse of the like
Yeah,
some
some hockey movie.
the missing $1 million hockey
$1 million
puck.
hockey puck. That would be a good double feature with the garbage picking, field goal kicking Philadelphia phenomenon.
Yeah,
Starring Tony
both the
Danza.
two longest goddamn names in history.
We don't need any of that. So before we get into the film, let's take a listen to the trailer.
If you the fortune to have been accepted at this college, then you recognize this house. But if you never heard of Yellowstream College, then wipe the dog mess off your shoes and come inside the house that's the pits of higher education and the home of Pi Kappa Delta. But wait, before we go inside, there's something we've got to get straight. You tell him, gross out.
Hey, you know what all these things are? These are all the scenes we can't show you. Why? Because this is a G-rated trailer, that's why. And the only way you are going to see these scenes is to come to this theater when King Frat is playing.
King Frat. What makes this picture so raunchy, so offensive,
I'll bury you myself!
so completely out of control? Well, there's his first annual win contest.
Our contestants are all primed and ready to go. Points will be awarded on the basis of loudness.
You've never seen or heard anything like it before.
Position, please.
Too bad we can't let you see it and hear it right now. And there's this emergency room emergency where the Pi Caps prove a long-standing medical theory to be nothing but a lot of baloney.
This is impossible. I mean, ask anybody. This is medically impossible. I mean, maybe in dogs or Mad Magazine, but never in humans. Doc, will you just get us unhooked? Maybe in apes. No, not even apes.
You can see no insurance would cover this.
Okay.
That girl must be a real dog if an ape put a bag over her head.
I guess that's all we can show you now. To the uneducated eye, this may look like a party. But there isn't a word in the entire English language to cover anything like this. Too bad we have to leave just when things are getting started. But they'll still be going strong when you come back. And a funeral that turns the last rites into a happy hour.
I'll dig the hole myself!
Everyone is higher than heaven. Of course, there are other raunchy and offensive things too numerous to mention.
That's ready. And that's ready. Hey, my gum.
Is she pretty?
You might say we have something offensive for everyone. We just can't show you the worst. King Frat. If our name is banned, what can you expect from the movie?
So we get into the movie. It opens just like Screwballs 2, actually.
As all these movies open.
Exactly like Screwballs 2, is that it just shows the sign for the university. And it's
what is
called
the university called, Mike?
Yellowstream University.
Strap in, kids.
Yeah.
That's the level of humor we're dealing with here.
Oh, yeah.
Yellowstream University.
Here's a weird thing. So my mom lives in a like a senior community, right? Not an old folks home. It's just a neighbor, like a whole city that's a senior city.
Yeah, I visited that one time to hang out with you. And, it was quite nice.
A great rec room over there. So here's the thing. It's owned by a company, right? And you know what their company name is?
What's it called, Mike?
The Golden Rain Foundation.
Oh, that's
unironically,
unfortunate.
it's
Come
called
on.
the Golden Rain Foundation. Yep. So
That's fantastic.
That's worse than Yellowstream.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Because one's running along the ground and one's flying in the air.
Yep. Golden Rain, baby.
Yep. I figured that one out.
So then we cut to guys driving a hearse really fast.
Yeah, this hearse comes peeling out.
So again, it's just like Screwballs 2. They're driving around in a car, but instead of a convertible, they're driving in a hearse, which I like better than the convertible, you know?
It sends a better message. And on the side of the hearse, it says it's the official car of Pi Kappa Delta.
Yeah.
Which are the boys.
And how dare you skip over the fact that we have our own theme song?
Well, I assumed we opened with it.
Of course we did. But this is when they play it for the first time of many times.
Oh, do you think they play it more... Let me start this again. Do you think they play this song more in this film than cruising down the road?
Ooh. I think maybe it's about equal. But how does this... It's like King Frat.
No, it's King Frat. King Frat.
And it's just
and there's some other lyrics, but you can't make them out because everyone's farting over it.
Yeah, exactly. And everybody's going and
it's pretty much every time we reach a peak of tasteless humor, you just hear King Frat in the background, like the kids start singing. It's wonderful. And so yeah, we're getting a DUI here. The kids are throwing back tall boys.
Oh hell yeah.
And they're flipping off the rich kids, and then we're 2 minutes into this movie, and what do? Smash cut to fat guys' assholes.
Yep, and I was like, fucking A,
A
Bobby.
proud Grindbin tradition. You thought for a second I wasn't going to bring you more of that? You thought wrong, my friend.
You know what? Here's the thing, though. I wasn't even mad. I was like, I'm back home.
It's
like,
a broken-in pair of shoes.
I'm back home. I haven't seen a man's asshole since Demon Cop, and boy, did I miss it, you know?
And right in the opening of the movie.
Here's the other thing, too, is I'm like, so are they the frat that just goes around throwing beer cans in people's yards? Because
and
they're
showing
just,
you their assholes.
At this point, we don't know anybody that or anything, and they're just going around, they're like, woo, we're assholes, and they're just throwing empty beer cans in people's yards and stuff and mooning people, and it's like, so these are my heroes.
Now, Mike, this was super quick. Did you catch their license plate?
No.
I wrote it down like I was going to call the cops on them. HEY 4Q2. Yeah.
Love it.
Fantastic. Just top to bottom. This movie is boot to bonnet. Just in every possible spot they could put a dumb joke, they put one there.
Oh, yeah. There's no bottom of the barrel because we're already there. You know?
We live in this barrel now.
You know, Eddie Deason would have fit so well in this movie, too.
It's the one I never thought I'd feel that way. You're absolutely right.
Yeah, he could have played the nerd guy in this movie.
Mark the date down on the calendar. The day that this episode is released. That I wished Eddie Deason was in a movie.
Yeah, he would have fit in perfect.
And you know who I wish he played? The school president.
So good. He'd be a little young then, but
worth it.
So then we
cut to the school president.
Well, we moon some guy on a bike. He falls over, right? Yeah. And then they drive around town. And here's the thing: is like they're just driving. At one point, everybody's flipping them off. I mean, like a mom with a kid in a stroller is flipping them off. Everybody hates them.
Pretty sure the baby's arm came up out of the stroller with his finger in the air.
Yeah, and they're like, "You're on board with these boys, right? You love them, the fart boys, right?"
Oh man, the fart boys.
And so then they moon some ladies running, and this is when I write. I've already seen like 5 assholes.
Are you starting to wonder if this entire movie is just always going to have a exposed asshole in the background?
I was starting to think, right? So then there's like some real girls who are like actually going to school and trying to study, and they do remark how they're sick of seeing constant hairy asses from these guys.
Fair.
Yeah.
It is a reasonable complaint.
Yeah. Then they moon at some guy, and they fart. Like, what I can see is like he farts to the point of almost shitting at this man.
He farts with all of his might. You know, like when you're playing Street Fighter and like Ryu kind of really charges it up and his shoulders are bouncing and like all of the light is flashing. It's that, but his ass.
Yeah. And
we get an anal Hadouken. Which Chris Mann couldn't be here tonight because he is currently playing bass for Anal Hadouken.
Yeah. Also, so who's this guy they fart at, Bobby?
It's the school president.
Yeah, and what happens?
He has a heart attack and dies.
Yeah, and we're laughing going, we're on board with these
boys. They just murdered a guy with their assholes.
The fuck boys are murderers. Like, I love it. Oh, my
God. They farted a man to death.
So he fart attacked the president.
A fart attack? My God. Did you write for this? Are you Ron Kurz?
Well, okay, here we go. Grindbin listeners, just so you know, Bobby and I are starting the Kickstarter. King Frat 2.
Is it called Fart Attack?
Fart Attack. And it stars Eddie Deason as the dean.
Dean Deason. That's the thing. He is playing the dean, but he's also playing himself. He is Dean
Oh,
Deason.
Dean Deason, of course. And we're bringing his friends. You know, we're going to get Gilbert Gottfried in it and Fred Stoller and all of them.
And this entire film is just going to be them getting farted on.
Yeah.
This is the. You may have been wondering why I walked in here in a tuxedo tonight, Mike, because I knew we were going to reach a new height for this show.
That's true. Yeah, we're announcing it now. Our reboot of King Frat.
We've been a bootleg DVD, and today we're a Criterion Blu-ray.
Yeah, we're getting our first directing credits, Bobby. Are you ready? Are you ready? So the dean is meeting with these preppy guys, right? Like, I don't even think we learned their names. They're just the preppy boys,
Yeah,
right?
they're just a bunch of assholes.
And apparently...
Not the assholes we're cheered for.
No.
Metaphorical assholes.
But they're also like, so they murdered the president. They're like, did anybody call the cops?
The president
or
has
anything?
been shot.
Yeah.
Back and to the left.
Yeah, with fucking Kevin Costner. He's got the asshole on it.
You see the footage. There could not have only been one asshole.
Yeah, the asshole in the grassy knoll.
That's too dumb for even me. I was going to say the grassy hole.
Oh, man.
Oh, God. This movie's affecting us.
All that humor in King Frat 2, Frat
Look
Attack.
for that.
Fart Attack.
Help us out.
It's gonna say it's gonna be Fart Attack, but if it's gonna have like a hologram poster where it also says Frat Attack. You know what I mean? So we could do the little.
That's perfect.
You know,
it's like the Uncle Sam. Only the lenticular poster will have him pulling his pants down.
yes, and there will be an asshole.
Perfect.
So apparently nobody was arrested in connection with the shark murder or any of that stuff.
Well, the evidence evaporated.
King Frat.
It's like stabbing somebody with an ice knife. By the time the cops get there, there's no murder weapon.
What a smart plan, right? So then the dean's plan. Okay, so here's what he goes. He says to the preppy boys, he's like, no, they got away with it, but here's my plan, prepsters. I'm just going to let them run wild, and then somehow they'll do something dumb, and we'll kick them out of school.
And what's funny is I was thinking about this, because Dean Doyle
Yeah.
is off. It's store brand John Vernon.
Yeah, because John Vernon was the dean in Animal House, but man, they couldn't get John Vernon for this.
Everybody in this movie. Gross Out is just Bluto. Everybody is an analog to a character in Animal House.
Yeah, and by the way, the preppy guy in this movie is supposed to be like the guy from Beach Girls who's the serial killer.
Yeah.
I forget his name. Scott something. And
everything kind of connects in that way. But what's funny, and I'm sure this is no accident. So I'm thinking that this guy is kind of like an off-brand John Vernon. And he starts talking about how he's going to straighten these frat boys out like he did when he was a warden.
yeah.
Hey.
And I was like, oh my God.
Like, is this supposed to be John Vernon?
Yeah, I'm wondering in his world, like it wouldn't be Linda in prison, it would be some other B-level actress. Be like Linnea Quigley in prison
And
or
she
something.
keeps farting.
Yeah.
This is the fart universe.
Yeah, that movie where Linnea Quigley gets thrown in prison and farts
her way out.
Yeah, it's like Escape from Alcatraz, but instead of like going through the wall Clint Eastwood style, she just farts her way.
I have a feeling we're going to set a record for the most times the word fart has been said in a podcast.
King Frat, baby.
We've done it, Mike. We're going to win. What's a podcast award called? A potty?
A potty.
Oh, it's perfect.
Okay, so apparently, yeah, he was a prison warden, but now, and then one of the preppy guys goes like, well, the reason you're here is because the prisoners burned down the prison, right? And he was like, shut up. Yeah. And I was like, well, Yellow Stream must be pretty bad if they're hiring the warden that let the prisoners burn down the prison, but okay.
This is how far we've come.
Yep, so the Pi Kappa boys were at the house.
And we're throwing kegs out windows.
Yeah, here's the thing. They pull up to the house, which is... Is I right? It looks like the house, and I don't know if you've seen this movie, but it looks like the house from Greasy Strangler. Like, it looks like that much of a dilapidated, like, house.
It does.
It's really fucking bad. It's so bad that when you pull up...
Yeah, this frat house looks like in the later Nightmare on Elm Street movies when you'd see Freddy's house in a dream. And just it's all shitty and torn down and everything.
Yeah, they would live in the Kruger house.
But yeah, these guys, they're just getting drunk with Freddy all the time.
That's
like
why
he keeps trying to haunt them, and they're not afraid because they're too drunk.
That's why the realtor's like, look, the reason there's no stucco on the walls or anything is because he had children in the walls, and we had to take it out and everything. And it's like, are you sure you're okay living here?
And they're just like, who cares?
Yeah, they couldn't hear him over the farts. Yeah. So they're like, whatever, what's the down payment?
Freddy came in the bedroom, got hit upside the head with a beer can.
Yeah, when they pull up to the house, a keg flies out of a second-story window. Just flies
They're partying
out.
so cartoonishly hard that there are kegs just catapulting off the property. And they come flying in their hearse, and
Yeah.
it turns out that's what they're getting back from is another beer run.
Yeah.
The hearse is filled with just cases of beer.
And so then Not Belushi and the boys get out, right? And so Not Belushi is our main guy.
Gross
he's
out.
He's just Not Belushi.
Right.
Is what
But
he
that's
is.
his character's name.
Yeah.
It's Gross Out.
I just called him Not Belushi
All right.
and all my stuff, and then eventually NB. So he wakes up a guy, Bobby, who is probably one of the
He's-
most problematic characters since
This
Beach Girls.
is a problem. This is a real issue. We meet what do they call like the elder person who kind of is the guy?
So he's
it's
the-
like how there's sorority moms.
Yeah,
What's
he's
the frat
he's,
equivalent. to
the
that?
Ruth Gordon of this Muggsy Girls.
He's their Muggsy.
Yeah,
The frat boy's Muggsy is Chief Latrine,
yeah.
who is a white man playing a Native American.
Yeah, and you know how they like did it because they couldn't even get a headdress. They just put a belt on his head.
Yeah.
They put a fucking belt on his head.
Yeah, he looks as Native American as a college kid going to Coachella.
It
We
is
just did a 23andMe and found out they're 64th Cherokee. So now they're
Yeah, now I gotta get a feather.
now you're dressing like Tatanka and getting drunk.
I did write Tatanka. It's like I
Are
wrote.
we gonna call this guy Tatanka for
it's
the
like,
rest of the thing? Because
if-
that's offensive.
This is like if Ruth Gordon showed up as Tatanka. Like it's that bad,
basically,
man.
and he's doing all. He's playing this like a white actor would play a Native American in an old western.
Oh yeah.
So
Yeah.
he's
Like
doing
Charles
the,
Bronson when he
he's
played
doing
a
the
Native
broken
American.
English. He's doing the no like 'em type stuff. And
Imagine if Bronson was this frat house.
as he was Chief Latrine.
I'm trying to broaden my horizons, do comedy.
Yes, I am a Native American.
You know why they call it Yellow Street?
50 years ago, I shot someone with my piss.
Yeah, that would have just ended with him killing everybody. So.
You know, I wouldn't have been mad at that.
No, here's the
if
thing,
this
though.
ended with just Bronson blasting everybody.
Here's the thing. Do you think somebody's gonna get shot in the head in this movie? Stay tuned.
Because I
Stay
got
tuned.
I gotta tell you, the stray bullets that didn't hit anything or hitting kegs and beers spraying everywhere, it'd be a fantastic scene.
King Frat.
King Frat.
So we're now we're into like they bring in beers for everybody. There's guys playing poker,
And they don't look up. So, yeah, Gross Out comes in. He's like, hey, we're back for a beer run. Everyone's got beer. And here's a kiss for you, darling. And he farts at them.
Yeah.
And the
That's
dudes
just a hello.
do not look up. It's
Yeah.
implied that these guys have been here for a very long time playing a very serious game of poker. And what's going on under the poker table?
So am I to understand that they all have installed catheters?
Yes.
And they're all pissing.
They're so focused on their poker game that they don't want to stop playing.
Yeah.
And they're all pissing
shoved-
in the same giant jar under the.
But they've like shoved plastic tubing up their urethras.
I don't know necessarily that they're using catheters, Mike, but I think they have a
No, there
funnel
are
and
a
tube
bunch-
system
Yeah.
in their pants.
I was like, man, how far are they going?
That's as
really
far as I think it is. I
disturbing.
think that each
Really
guy has a
disturbing.
funnel through his fly connected to a tube. It's like a double dare game. Like, and if you could fill this up to the line
Yeah.
before the other team does it, you get to take the next challenge.
The old physical challenge.
Oh god.
Oh man,
Mark
you got the
Summers
tough
hosting
one
King
today.
Frat.
He's like, you either got a choice between the nose, the giant nose you got to pick, or pissing in this jar. God.
Yeah, and that was one of the jokes in this movie that I didn't, I didn't laugh like I did with the other ones
I
because a
was
lot of
more-
these are like, are you kidding me right now?
I was more concerned. I was like,
You too, then,
whoa.
right? Your face suddenly got very stoic. You went,
Yeah.
oh no, what is this? This is, and I gotta tell you, spoiler alert: the giant jar of piss doesn't come into play.
I know.
Are you fucking kidding me in this movie?
That would have been great.
With everything else that we're gonna talk about before this episode's over, at no point do they fire the gun on the table.
You're
Or in this
right.
case, the
You're
gun under the
right.
table. I thought for sure like Dean Doyle was getting a bucket of piss on his head.
Or come on, there's got to be something where somebody accidentally drinks from the piss bucket.
Oh,
you
God.
know, like Muggsy's Girls.
Right.
Yeah.
But
It's
no,
gotta happen.
It begins and ends with this.
But here's the thing about this movie. There is no low that's too low. Because, oh my God, if there's a joke to be had with any situation,
We're doing all of them.
they do it. Man,
We're
they
not going
do
to
it.
figure out which one would be the funniest thing to do in this
Bobby,
moment. We're going to do them all.
There's a part where something happens. I mean, we're talking like maybe life in prison.
Oh, yeah.
Of scenario, and it's never followed up on.
No. We're living in a different world here. This is the fart universe.
The
and
fartiverse.
so, to save time, rather than going from room to room and farting at everybody,
Yeah.
Gross Out rings the beer bell.
Yeah.
It's kind of like the big bell in Seven Brides for Seven Brothers to announce to the town that they're stealing our women.
So here's the thing. He goes around giving beers and farts to everybody. Okay?
And we have all the frat boys that we're not going to spend time with, just the extras.
Yeah.
Are just running
It's like
by, catching
hundreds of
beers and
people.
grabbing cases. And
Yeah.
it's...
My favorite part is when he walks into the screening room.
yeah, we talk about the screening room for a second.
Oh yeah, definitely. Because you know what? There's nothing better, Bobby, than sitting in a dark room with your friends watching a porn. Right?
Now, did you realize what specifically was this pornography they were watching?
Oh no.
They had set up a hidden camera in a sorority house.
Oh boy.
It's at the very tail end as we're leaving that scene.
Revenge of the Nerds.
Yeah. So
Did this come out before Nerds? No, it had to have come out after,
I don't
right?
know.
Actually, I think Revenge of the Nerds might be 80s.
This is 79. Revenge of the Nerds is after that.
I think so, right?
Who directed Revenge of the Nerds?
I have no idea. Some pervert.
It's not someone who went on to do a lot of shit. Revenge of the Nerds. 84.
Wow.
So we got 5 years later.
Yeah.
And it was... Who the hell directed this thing?
A sex criminal.
Clearly.
Somebody who's on the the list. The registry.
Jeff Kanew. Yeah, that's nobody.
Jeff Kanew?
Kanew.
Oh, boy.
Kanew. Who did, no, he's actually an editor. This is the only movie he directed.
Okay. Back to the room for you, Jeff.
Seriously. Oh, National Lampoon's Adam and Eve he eventually did.
Oh, wonderful.
Which has a guy standing on a keg. Ha!
So, they're all part of the FCU, which is the Fart Cinematic Universe. So,
as our sequel will also exist.
now we get introduced to Splash, who is he a student or?
Yeah, he's a student.
So he's a student, but he's also the janitor at the preppy.
They don't
frat
clarify
house?
how he ended up in this position, but he is forced to clean up the rich white frat house.
So like he has a
He's-
job there or something.
They never show them pay him.
I have no idea.
So I don't know
what
if
the
it's some kind
point
of
is.
punishment for a thing that he's been doing. I don't know.
But his name's Splash, and here's the thing: they never reference why he's called Splash. It's like seems like a golden opportunity to give us some sort of joke or something.
In
but
this universe, I'm amazed.
they just call him Splash.
I'm almost glad not to find out.
Yeah. So then the prep boys. Okay, so here's the thing. Yeah, he was hanging out with them. He's like, "Oh, I got to go to work," and now we cut to him. He's at the prep boys' frat house, and okay, here's the thing. We open on a shot of a statue with a giant dick. Okay, it's like a little boy statue
It's
with
the
a
statue of
giant
Dionysus.
penis. Yeah, which is Dionysus, the Greek god of wine.
Yeah, it's sort of it was a god of partying.
Yeah,
it fits for this
which
theme.
I guess he was always known as had a giant penis or something. Cause
Well, Dionysus was. Let's get nerdy for a second. It's not just wine, but it's just partying of all kinds. So he's the god of getting drunk. He's the god of fucking. He's the god of all that stuff. So yeah,
The
it would
god
make
of-
sense to
the god
depict
of
him as
well
being
hung,
well
apparently.
equipped for anything that might come his way.
yeah, because the dick is bigger than half the size of the statue. So it's this giant penis, and it looks like it's pissing into a bucket. But then you see that it's Splash pissing into a bucket. Then he bends down and cleans the floor with said bucket.
Hey, look at that! We just found out why he's called Splash.
Oh, there you go. But the thing is, I'm like, wait, you're cleaning the floor with your own piss?
And
I was like, so you're putting your putting your hands in the piss bucket?
well, I mean,
What
the ends
the hell are you
justify the
doing,
means.
man?
Because he's
Yeah, but it's just
coating,
like-
he's coating the prep boys' floor with his own piss.
Yeah. At that point, just piss on the floor.
Well, they'd catch him if he did that.
Well, nobody's in there. Because then they catch him, like they walk in when he's already done pissing. You think if they caught him pissing into a bucket, they'd be okay with it?
More so.
Because he is pissing into a bucket.
Yeah, I don't. Look,
So
we
the
don't need
whole
to
thing
dwell
is
on
very
this.
confusing. I was
It's
like,
all
is
right.
he washing the floor with his own piss? So he is, and apparently they come in and they're giving him a hard time. And then we see the big dick statue. They're like, don't mess with Dionysus or something. It's like, okay.
He's their mascot.
Yeah, and then Not Belushi's in the dirtiest kitchen of all time.
Yeah, this is Gross Out's making dinner for the boys.
Yeah.
And this may be the grossest scene in this movie of all the things that happen in this movie.
Yeah, he's cooking meatballs.
And it's just he's doing everything he can to make the scene as gross as possible.
Yeah. And this is, like I said, the room where they had to tear apart the walls because Freddy had put the victims in them.
Right.
And they're like, we don't care, whatever. You know, King Frat, baby.
That's right.
And he's also cooking spaghetti noodles in like a paint bucket, like a Home Depot bucket.
And to figure out when they're ready, he occasionally grabs a little pinch of them and flings it against the wall.
Yeah.
And if it doesn't stick to the wall, it's not ready.
It is bad. And then Chief comes in, and I write, this is a very problematic character because he keeps going. And man, it's...
and he starts to tell the story of his people.
Yeah.
Which was...
Many years ago, my people, the Kissawong, lived on this very land. Hunted the forests, fished the streams. It was our land. Then a white man came and drove my people up the river into the rocky hills where not even a gopher could live. My ancestors didn't like that. My ancestors pissed in white man's water for 50 years. White man never knew. Fucking dummies!
Chief goes in to talk to some... I just call him Nerdy Guy because I don't know if he has a name. He's just like...
Kevin.
Okay, so Kevin,
Groucho?
the nerdy guy, yeah. He's just, because this is the thing, is like
That's
everybody
Kevin,
is
who goes
just like,
on to be a doctor and a transporter.
That's the Belushi guy. That's the nerdy guy.
And because they're clever, we added Groucho Marx.
Yeah, Fred, who's going to show up halfway through the movie, is the good-looking guy, and that's it.
Did you say Fred?
Yeah.
I know who he really is.
Oh, no. Oh, no. Oh, Fred Krueger's frat house days,
He's just biding his time.
So then Chief, he's talking to him, and that's when he tells him about Yellowstream got its name, and I just try. This is wow.
It's exhausting. This movie.
Yeah. To sum it up, they were pissing in the white man's water for 50 years, and they never knew. So it's called Yellow Stream.
And he explains that and goes fucking dummies, and then starts doing the most offensive. He's trying to do like Native American dancing,
trying to make it rain.
Yeah.
And not the strip club style.
It's awful.
Yeah. So then Splash comes in, and he's like stolen a bunch of stuff. He just walks in and goes, "Here, I got the stuff you guys wanted."
It's a box of shit he stole from the frat.
And he just like box of literal shit. Like there's like car mufflers and shit that fall out of his trench coat.
One very heavily featured thing is a big double-sided dildo.
Yeah, which the nerd guy picks up and he's just like, "Yeah, this is for me" and stuff. And I was like, "Well, don't discriminate.
Yeah, man,
they're
do
called
your thing.
fetishes. Yeah,
God love you. Have fun."
So then Not Belushi's taking a shit, which he's going to do multiple times in this movie. Like, the bathroom is a set in this movie. It is a full-on fucking set.
Meanwhile,
this is like his bat cave almost. And this bathroom is massively big. It's the nicest room in the house, which is not saying much. It is
if you're going to keep one room nice.
Like this bathroom...
And by the way, it's not nice.
Oh, no.
Like, this bathroom looks like that set from the opening of The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. Like, this might as well have now this is a store.
Yes,
while he sits on the toilet.
And there's like a broken clawfoot tub in the corner that somebody's gonna fuck in later, and there's full-on stalls and what is a regular house, but they have bathroom stalls installed in it. And Not Belushi is in here all the time taking shits. Even while he's eating meals, he's taking shits.
He just never stops.
Right now he's taking a shit and he's looking at the newspaper and he goes, "Oh my God!"
Because he's reading the morning edition of the Daily Crack.
And it says, fart contest. He doesn't finish shitting. He just stands up and runs out of the room. Not even a fucking pinch of toilet paper. He runs out of the room mid-shit, doesn't flush.
This is the most disgusting movie I've ever seen.
Because he's so excited. He runs down and he tells all the guys, he goes,
"It's $500 for first place.
Guys, there's a fart contest. $500 for first place." And they're like, "Holy shit, this is the greatest thing we've ever heard." And then
we got to do it.
Nerd guy looks at it and he's like, "There's an entrance fee." And he's like, "Well, what the fuck, man?" And he's like, "Well, don't." And then that's when Fred just shows up and he's like, "Hey, it's me, Fred Krueger." Yeah.
Oh, it wasn't $500 for first place. It's $500 entrance fee.
Oh, $500 entrance fee. Man, that first prize must be something, right?
Hey, you got.
Oh, I know what it was. It's like a lifetime supply of beer.
Yeah,
it's like an amazing amount of beer.
It's worth more than money.
Yeah, and they're like, "Oh my God, that could last us for the semester."
I mean, yeah, $500 a competitor to buy the beer.
Yeah,
it's a lot of beer.
That's a lot of beer. So
but yeah, they say, "Hey, do you think we have a chance of winning?" To which Fred responds, "Does Gross Out have an asshole?"
They say, "Well, we don't have $500, but we got a new pledge coming in, so we'll just get his parents to pay for it." And they're like,
Easy
"Okay,
peasy.
Problem solved. Whatever. There's no conflict in this movie. None at all. Zero.
Yep.
Nothing." So then Not Belushi starts putting his pants back on. I go, I'm sorry, sir, you didn't finish. Sir? Hello? Hello?
Would you rather?
So
yeah, that's not nearly the first time
I mean,
that's
he's
happened.
pulling it up and putting the belt back on. You're like, no.
Man. Now, I wasn't part of a fraternity in college. I didn't go to one of those colleges. I went to a community college.
I was not part of a fraternity. I went to a real college. I did not join a fraternity.
You didn't need
I never
that.
would. Never would.
You shat alone, thank you.
No, I'm not going to walk around a room carrying olives in my asshole or something like that to hang out with a bunch of dudes.
I never wanted to do anything like that.
No, thank
because
you.
That's all I ever hear about with frats. I don't see a purpose to it.
To hang out with a bunch of assholes, I got to degrade myself?
I got to put a bunch of shit in my ass crack? I don't need that.
Here's the thing, though. How many pledges did they have die from staph infections? And
So many. We never see the backyard.
Yeah.
The backyard looks like a Halloween
Not
decoration.
only do they pull children out of the walls.
There's a body pit in the back.
King Frat, baby.
So we're going to a funeral.
And you know how they cremate him, of course.
Well,
he just bends over and get that lighter.
Yeah, you don't want to see the 21-gun salute they give their fallen brothers.
So then the nerd guy, Kevin, he's like looking at a treaty. Yeah, no, I'm not. That's not a joke.
I know.
He's looking at a treaty, and I just say, okay, bet that'll come into play. We'll see. So then the university president's funeral. Oh my God, do we degrade ourselves to a level that I didn't think we'd get to on the bin? Holy shit.
That's a constant throughout this film. Every time we go, well, it can't go further than that.
Yeah.
It does.
So here's the thing. They killed a man, right?
They
got
did.
away with it. They're like, we can't prosecute him because we can't. Apparently, the court of law doesn't accept fart as a murder weapon.
You know, like in Police Academy, Commandant Lassard isn't the villain. You know, he's the guy at the top, but like they treat him just sort of as a weird old man, just a silly guy. We don't know anything about this president. For all we know, he was great.
Yeah.
But yeah, they murdered him.
And
now they're having a funeral where his loved ones will be there crying that he's dead.
They already fart attacked this man.
And they're standing outside the funeral like, hey, fuck this guy. We're going to ruin his funeral.
Yeah, right? King Frat.
And so how do they ruin this funeral?
Well, here's the thing, man. They fart attacked him, right?
Yeah.
You know that obituary is a real Sammy Johns type of situation where it's like, we think it was maybe a lamp, but more likely a stroke. You know what I mean? It was like, it might have been a fart, but it was probably because he had some sort of heart condition.
Like, officially, the coroner said it was a heart attack. We did notice that his jacket was singed.
So then, they come in and they're like, yeah, hey, fuck this guy, right? Fuck him. And I write, I mean, you motherfuckers killed him. Like, you need to rub salt in the wounds of the family? Like, goddamn,
These are our heroes, ladies and
Because
gentlemen.
then we show the audience, and there's a child there crying like he lost his father.
It's like some grandkid.
There's like a fucking 10-year-old, and he's in the audience crying. And I'm like, okay, he's either here for his dad or his grandpa. Like, holy shit,
And they're like,
man.
watch this, losers.
So then they go in, and the dean's giving a eulogy. And then these sons of bitches, right? So the fart boys,
These bastards.
it's just Not Belushi and Splash, have the most skunk-ass looking weed I've ever seen.
A giant brick.
I thought it was a fucking meatloaf. But apparently it's weed.
It makes that seems like the weed these guys would have access to.
Oh, yeah. And it's wrapped in tin foil, you know?
Yeah.
It's like...
It's
like when you
Christmas
bought
fruitcake.
weed in high school, you know, and like somebody gave it to you in tin foil or something. You're like, I don't think. Heard about that weed you shouldn't smoke.
I believe
you know what
that
I mean?
some of this might be weed.
Yeah, and you're like, I think maybe this one we throw away, guys, or at least get the one guy to do it first.
It's like getting a tattoo. You know, the good ones aren't cheap and the cheap ones aren't good. Spend the money.
Yeah.
If you don't have the money, save up till you do.
Yeah. So they have the meatloaf strain that they're bringing to this funeral, and they have a fucking blowtorch where he's creme bruleeing this shit.
And they're doing it next to the air vents where the funeral's going.
Yeah,
on.
this is not how air vents work. That air just doesn't get sucked up magically into a vent and get recycled into the rest of a room.
So ostensibly, they're like Batman gassing this place.
Yeah,
this is like something the Joker would do.
It's like what happened in Robotrix.
Oh yeah, and as they're doing it, they're kind of getting a little bit of the fumes. They're like, "Oh, this is dynamite shit. It's too bad we gotta waste it like this."
So everybody in the audience is just inhaling this, right? And here it is, 1979. The general public does not understand how marijuana works,
right?
I guess, and they still do this in movies today. It's like the instant, you know, it's like you've been hit with Joker's laughing gas or some shit because everybody's just cracking up and they can't stop laughing. And
yeah, it's the reefer madness thing.
Yeah,
like you expect people to start stripping.
And they basically are, is everybody's just going like,
And
then,
while all this is going on, Dean Doyle starts getting really worked up.
Yeah.
And like he's gradually getting angrier and angrier while he talks, and he starts cutting like a pro wrestling promo.
he cuts a promo on a corpse.
You were a fool! And see where it got you. Well, now it's my turn. You armpit-faced, mealy-mouthed weasel. I'll bury you myself.
So at one point, he grabs the corpse. He grabs the corpse of this guy who died by fart attack.
Like Homer choking Bart, he just starts throttling the body.
Yeah, then
in front of this guy's grandchildren.
He slams the coffin lid. It's on a gurney for some reason. Pushes the gurney out the door of the church.
It just goes down the middle aisle and right out the door.
Yeah, into the not Belushi's hearse, which
because
has
as you recall, the frat boys drive a hearse which looks identical to the one that was going to take the coffin to the grave.
And they have the back of door already open as the gurney just goes right into the back of the hearse. The coffin slides in, cue the theme song, King Frat, and they just drive off with the
because fuck it.
This is what I wrote though. I go, I'm loving this. Like,
I'm incredulous. I'm beside myself that this movie even exists.
I was like, they don't give a fuck.
What the hell?
Like, they're going all out, man. They're like, look, they're like, you know what Animal House was? It's Animal House for cucks. You just wait until you see King Frat, okay?
Like,
you just wait.
I don't want to, but imagine then trying to watch Animal House.
That's what they wanted. They're like, you thought Animal House was funny and crazy? Go see this.
Yeah.
Your life will be changed.
Oh, fuck Animal House. It ain't shit.
Yeah, you like that? Well, in this movie, we kill the president and then we steal his body.
So now that we've done that, let's meet Tommy.
Yeah. So we go to the new pledge. The pledge is at the house, right? With his parents.
On the front
and they're
lawn.
like, I don't think that you should be here. And they're like, no. He's like, it's fine. It's college. And then Chief runs out of the house screaming and leaping around. And nerd guy Kevin comes out and he's like, oh, that's just Chief. He's our Muggsy's girls. He's our Muggsy of this house. He goes, nah, just a little PTSD when he was back in the war.
Back when he was a wind talker?
Yeah.
I guess.
Yeah. He's like back in the war, right? What war? I'm guessing
Vietnam.
I'm guessing Vietnam or maybe even Korean War, actually.
Yeah.
Because then he makes a Chinese restaurant joke, which I'm like, probably Korean War.
Oh, Christ.
Where he says...
There's so many happening.
I rewound it 8 times and I couldn't understand what he said. It was like pork chop Filligan or something was the joke. I was like, I don't...
Pork chop hill again.
Oh, God.
Yeah. There you have it.
Yeah, there it is. Yeah.
Wonderful. Yeah. Anytime Latrine is here, I'm just like, oh, it's less funny when you're here. Could you not?
So then, so that's what's real great. Not only do we have a white guy playing a Native American with a belt on his head, he also has PTSD.
And so, hey, let's meet the guys. Here come the boys.
Yeah, here come the boys. So he calls out the guys to greet the new pledge. They're all holding a bunch of household items and sporting equipment as weapons.
Yeah, Jock is the ogre of this group of Revenge of the Nerds
We'll meet
guys.
like in this scene and like nowhere else.
Yeah, at the end he serves a purpose. But yeah, we meet him. He is literally shaving with an axe.
Yeah, he's shaving with an axe.
No shaving cream, no water. He's just dragging an axe across his face.
Yeah, and they ask their parents, they're like, we need $500. And they're like, okay. And then Not Belushi and Splash pull up while they're writing a check. And they bring the coffin inside.
Yeah, why not?
And
I guess he's one of the boys now.
Here's the thing. We will never see that coffin or any of that ever again.
Yes, we will.
Oh, my God. Where?
Dude, Mike, we'll get to it. Oh, that's not the last we see of the school president.
What the fuck? Maybe I'm forgetting a scene or something.
I think you are, but we'll get to it when we get to it.
Oh, my God.
Oh, no, he comes back.
So they've grave
robbed. The coffin's gone.
They've not only grave robbed, they body robbed. Like, they took the whole thing. So, yeah, they've stolen the body of the president. They've brought it into the house for God knows what. Who knows where this is going to show up.
At this point, it can be literally anything.
King Frat, baby. So then the pledge goes around the house, meeting the guys, right? Not Belushi's taking a piss in the bathroom, in the bathroom set, right? And he shows off his, quote, girlfriend to the pledge, who is a...
Griselda.
Yeah, who's a blow-up doll.
Yeah, just your standard issue novelty blow-up doll.
Yeah, the talking kind. So he sprung for the talking blow-up doll, which apparently every time you touch the mouth, it says something like, yes, yes.
And he explains, as he's introducing Griselda to Tommy, she don't tell, she don't swell, she's grateful as hell, and most importantly, she don't talk back. Jesus Christ.
Yeah. And then he says, why don't you go fuck her? Just wash her when you're done. And then
He's like, hey, I don't get jealous.
seriously, go. And then he hands it to the pledge,
Ew.
and the pledge leaves,
Who I guess goes for it.
goes to fuck the blow doll.
That's fucked
No,
up.
I'm sorry, but like, is this like
in a movie full of fucked up things? I was like, that's too much.
When in history were people like, I really want to fuck a pool float?
You know, I was walking through Target the other day, and there was one that looks like a big slice of pizza that you can lay on.
Yeah,
and I'm
I've
just
seen
like,
that
hey,
one.
what if I
rubbed up against that for a little bit,
Yeah.
right?
I don't get it, dude.
Yeah, I it's like,
I didn't get it when I was a kid. I don't get it now.
You can put your dick in a lot of things that I'm sure would feel okay, but a pool float is not one of them. Like
That's a Mike Wood guarantee.
yeah. So
yeah, okay.
Not Belushi's. He says just watch it when you're done, right?
So all right,
King Frat, baby. More of this in King Frat 2: Fart Attack. You know, it's too bad he wasn't here for this movie. He would have loved it. I really think
he loved Muggsy's girl.
This would have been his favorite.
This would have been his favorite episode to date.
I think Man would have enjoyed this. I think anybody.
Honestly,
on
I'm a little bummed all the other guys weren't part of this.
Yeah, I am too.
I wish we could have gotten all the whole frat together for this.
This would have been one. Yeah, it's a shame.
You know what? Maybe this will be a commentary later. Maybe
Yeah, that
commentary
could be.
number 2,
Yeah.
we'll get all the boys
Short and
together,
sweet,
and we'll just do a King Frat commentary.
That could be good. So Not Belushi and Splash are trying to run over the preppy guys. They're literally trying to kill them in a scene.
You know, they've had a taste of murder now.
Yeah. They're like, we need another body for our party, so why don't we just try and find another?
God.
Yeah, they try to run over the preppy guys, and it's like, it's not even a joke. They literally try and murder them. The house that Kruger built, you know?
Right. They've been learning.
So Pi Kappa house, the nerd guy, so Kevin's telling him, he's like, hey, he's like tells him the history of farts for some reason, and like this, all this
Well, you
stuff.
think they're not studying anything at school?
And Not Belushi is laying on like a massage table.
Yeah,
or
he's-
maybe the coffin. I don't know. They've put
It might be the gurney from the coffin.
Could you imagine if they put the coffin and he's laying on it?
God.
He's laying face down, like stomach down on a coffin or a gurney. And Splash is feeding him beans from a can.
Yeah, they're getting him ready for the competition.
Yeah,
this
and
is his Rocky training montage.
He's practicing farting.
There's no easy way out.
And then Chief comes in with his, for lack of a better word, fire water type
Yeah,
of
he's got like a
contraption.
special elixir he's made that's supposed to make you...
Which he says is something out of like hairy buffalo ball liquid or something
all right,
like that.
dude.
Okay, whatever.
All right, you racist asshole. That's fine. And so he tries it. They give him a little bit of it. He's a little tentative at first. Even Gross Out's like, I don't know about that.
Yeah.
But they give him some.
Well, they force it.
Yeah.
They
oh, God, they do force it. That's
force
right.
feed
They're like
him.
pinching his nose and pouring it into his throat.
Yep.
And, it starts to take effect pretty quickly. And he farts so hard that he fires like a missile headfirst through the wall.
Yeah.
King
This is what I write in my notes. What did they do with that coffin?
We never find out about the coffin.
So then Fred, the president character, is introduced. Oh, by the way, there's like a short scene where Fred calls his dad on the phone or something. He's like, yeah, I'll do better this.
On the frat
that'll
payphone.
Never fucking be followed
It's
up
just
on.
to humanize him.
Yeah. It's like, I don't know where we went with that. He's studying tennis because he's going to be a tennis pro one day. Don't worry. It all connects in the Grindbin cinematic universe, So the president is, and this guy seems like a guy who would in the future would try to hit on his own daughter. I would think so.
Sure.
Yeah.
But for now, he's just a hardman.
Yeah. So Fred, the president of the frat, he's just introduced. That's all I said.
Yeah.
So then Not Belushi, the pledge, and Fred drive up to some girls who are trying to actually go to school, and they're like, hey, why don't you come to our party? And they agree for some reason? Is that right?
Well,
Why?
They agree to go to dinner.
Oh,
and,
yeah.
They
a
don't
Chinese
say
restaurant.
yeah to the party, but they do say yeah, like, hey, let's take you out to the Chinese restaurant. And they say yeah, and that's the least believable thing that's happened in this movie so far.
Yeah. And oh my God. So Bobby, we're here at Wong's Chinese restaurant.
We sure are.
What's that billboard say? It says, wash your laundry while you eat.
Oh, God.
Because those people, they all own laundromats and restaurants.
This film may break the binge. Nothing's going to seem that crazy after this movie. You know what I mean? Like, every offensive joke in any movie we cover after this is going to be nothing compared to this movie.
And Bobby, how do you introduce eating at a Chinese restaurant?
That is
Oh, there's a gog, baby. King Frat.
Good God.
So then the guys are on a date. Not Belushi just won't shut the fuck up, and he's eating like a
And he's
goddamn
just
animal.
I know it's going to be shocking, but Gross Out is being gross.
Even grosser than before. Like,
He's leveling up. He's over 9,000.
I mean, look, just put it in context. We're gonna watch this man eat a pizza on the shitter at one point, and this is more disgusting.
Yeah.
Is he's sitting at the table and he's like blowing his nose with lo mein? It's like
yeah.
fucking ridiculous.
It's so, and everyone's just kind of horrified. Everyone's just kind of staring at him.
Yeah. And so then he makes the pledge drink more beer. He won't. And then here's where you go. Okay, ready?
Because Tommy's a human being.
This is Bobby. This is
because it's time for your first lesson.
Fucking insane what he does.
Yeah.
Is he goes, here, look, kid, I'm gonna teach you the trick. The trick to drink all the
takes
beer
him
you ever
back
want.
into the kitchen.
Yeah. Into the kitchen, mind you.
And he explains to him the secret, which I haven't read the book, but I assume this is the secret.
Yeah, the secret.
Okay.
Which is also a really serious problem for a lot of people.
Yeah, not something to be making a lot of fun.
Is he goes, see this finger right here? When I stick it down my throat and I throw up, I can drink all the beer I want.
And yeah, and so he does, and
wow,
eating disorders are not that funny. I gotta
this
say,
is
not funny at all. In fact,
it's not funny at all. But this is insanity. Like, I'm laughing at the point that, like, what are we doing?
Not because it's legit funny, but just because, like, they went there.
This is ridiculous.
Oh my God.
A man is telling a guy you can drink all the beer you want if you just throw up.
If you just make yourself throw up.
Yeah.
And so he shows him, and then, Tommy can't get himself
thinking, though,
to do
I'm
it,
like-
and so he gets a mandible claw from Gross Out.
Yeah.
And now they're both throwing up. And I'm like, you know what? Burn this movie.
This is
no one needs to see
insanity.
this. It's like the end of Cannibal Holocaust, where the guy stands up and just goes, burn the film.
Yeah, just burn it.
No one may ever see this.
This is my notes I write. This movie is problematic on so many levels that it's incredible.
And it is, like you were saying, like, you do start laughing kind of against yourself because you're going crazy.
You're just like, this has gone so far.
You're like, I'm so offended that I don't know how to even
here's
conduct
the thing,
myself.
Like, I think you can go to a point where you offend so much it becomes comical to the point where I can't even take it seriously anymore.
Much like, the Grand Guignol with violets. It's one of those things where it's like, when the blood is spraying into the air and it's so over the top, it becomes a cartoon.
Yeah, and here's the thing is, like, with a lot of movies, they, like, pull back, and it's like, that's the problem is they never go there. King Frat goes there, and it works. It actually works because
I think
it
this
is
one of those,
so
like,
bad.
You spent so much time wondering whether you could.
Yeah.
You never stopped to ask if you should.
Oh, they went.
They shouldn't have.
Yeah, they shouldn't have. But in a way, it does work because everything is so offensive. Like you're saying, you're laughing because you're like, I can't believe somebody did it in a movie.
Yeah, you're looking to each side of you for someone to tell you, yes, you are seeing this.
Oh yeah, and so you know how we offend the audience a little bit more? They go back to the table, and Fred hands not Belushi a cup of tea that he's put some sort of, like, Alka-Seltzer or something into, and he's
Because
like,
this is how they handle the bill.
yeah, he goes, take care of the bill. So not Belushi takes a sip of it, foams at the mouth,
And fakes a seizure.
What the fuck? And he's falling over tables and pulling off tablecloths.
He's doing a full Chevy Chase.
Yeah, and everybody's just like, oh my God. And he's just like, oh. And then Fred goes, we got to get him out of here. And it goes, King Frat.
What blows my mind is that when we get out of here, the girls are in the car with the boys.
Yeah.
They seem charmed by all of this.
We have to mention also one of the girls passed out at the table, which I was very concerned about. Extremely concerned why there is a
clearly
sleeping girl at this table.
nothing's off limits so far in
I'm
this
like,
movie.
okay, no. And then she's in the car still passed out, finally wakes up and throws up on the floor, thank God. But yeah, you're right. They're both on board for it. They're like, that was awesome. Like, man, they brought him down to their level. One day with the fart boys, that's enough.
That's it.
You're there.
I feel like that happened to us.
Yeah, that was the
By
thing.
virtue of you sitting on your couch laughing, you're like, oh no.
I mean, I was walking around my house last night farting all over the place.
Oh, I'm so
my
sorry for
my
your
wife's
wife.
asking me, she's like, hey, when are you going to bed? And I just farted out.
There's a kiss for you, darling.
She's like, did you say...
And you're like, King Frat, as you're running around with your pants down.
Was that 12:30, Mike? And then I just went... And she's like, oh, 12:45. Got it.
Jesus.
So everyone drives away from the car. Yeah, okay, so we're at the fart contest, right? So halfway through the movie, we're already at the fart contest. So I guess we're not saving that as the climax. Nope, this is not a the end of second act here. Nope.
You know,
we're already at it.
Even if you want to save it to the end, it's coming when it has to.
Yep.
It's just sometimes.
It's like it's kind of like when you hold in a fart and it's gonna happen.
You know
what I
we
mean?
just gotta get right to it.
Yep. So we're at the fart contest, and Not Belushi's here with the nerd guy Kevin. And then I swear to God, Bobby, I thought Joe Pesci walked into the scene. Because this guy walks up and he's, "Hey, you motherfuckers, you in the?" I'm like, no.
Hey, who the fuck is farting in here?
So Not Pesci shows up in the movie, and he's like the MC of this fart contest, where he's going to hold like a 5-foot-long boom mic in front of somebody's asshole. This is a movie,
this is the
people.
Point in this movie. Like, we went through a really rough patch with these last couple of scenes where I was not cool with this film. I was like, man, fuck this movie. We get to this, and that's when I started cackling like a madman. Because somehow they packed an auditorium with people who want to watch this.
Yeah, they want to watch and experience.
And for a safe distance, he's got a boom
fart contest. Yeah, he's got a giant boom mic where they're shoving it, like they're putting the boom mic up to the asshole as people walk up, pull down their pants, and fart into a microphone.
And but backstage, he's like, okay, so who's the contestant? And Not Belushi.
Before they even get to the contestant, somebody just rides onto the stage on a fucking motorcycle and gets off, and they're like, "Oh my God, it's Bucky!"
Yeah, it's the cool rider from Grease 2.
And it's a woman named Bucky who is obsessed with Not Belushi
because they used to date.
Yeah, they have a history.
He's her ex.
Yeah, he dumped her for the blow-up doll, apparently.
But we have
she's the fart champion.
Yeah, so this is the heavy hitter.
Yeah.
So yeah, he's asking, so who from Yellowstream is going to be the contestant here? And, we find out it's going to be Gross Out. And he goes, hey, I should have known. You look like a big bomber. Great. And he explains, the art of the game. He explains the sweet sides of what we're doing. He says, a fart is the sharpest thing in the world. It goes right through the pants without leaving a hole.
Yeah, he's doing like a Dolomite Type 5 on stage and nobody's laughing.
Not a person.
So then the contest begins. He says, may the best asshole win. But
and
then he also introduces...
rules. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Is that what you're about to say?
The fartometer.
Yeah, we have a fartometer to monitor everything. He explains that everyone's going to get 3 chances.
So this 5-foot-long boom mic is connected to
a fartometer.
Some sort of fartometer machine.
Is it the fartometer or the fartometer?
That looks... He calls it a fartometer, even though it's spelled fartometer.
Well, that's the same.
Yeah, exactly.
Let's call the whole thing off.
So then it is like a love testing machine.
Yeah, it's just a single
lights.
dial.
Yeah.
We got the green, yellow, red.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like when you're a kid and you watch the game shows where they monitor applause for things.
Yes, and that's just
and they're like, oh, we're redlining on this one.
Yeah.
So everyone's gonna get 3 shots at goal. You got 20 seconds for each one. And this is
so the first guy comes in barely registered.
Hold on. I'm following the rules, goddammit.
Oh,
and if you draw mud, you're disqualified.
Mm-hmm. So you're upset about that?
I'm not into it.
Although I got to say,
Not a
Bobby
fan.
did pull out that line at Panda Express today in the middle of the line, in the middle of a bunch of people expecting me to get the reference.
Well, I wanted to see if you'd still order your food.
He said that while I'm about to order chow mein.
And this gross motherfucker still ordered food. Can you believe it?
Yeah. Give me that black pepper chicken.
God. You're definitely the Not Belushi of the Grindbin.
Yeah, you know it. I often communicate through fart, as you know.
So I feel like I feel like those guys who go to baseball games sit in the top row and take notes. Because I have how the competition went.
Oh, yeah, I got it. First guy comes in, right?
Ira Cooperstein from the School of Proctology,
oh,
for God's
boy.
sake.
Barely registers.
Ooh, 1 point.
Yeah,
Not
it was
much.
bad. Week 1.
And up next, we got Miss Baked Beans 1979.
Jesus. So this woman goes on stage and pulls her skirt
She's
up.
like a pageant girl.
And she farts into the microphone. It's a second tier fart. So it's
decent.
It's
Everyone
fine.
gets 3
Fine.
anyway. It's like it's a foul tip.
Yeah. It is.
It really is.
So then we got third is...
God, what the fuck are we doing, Mike?
Third is Friday.
Why do we do this show?
Somebody wrote this.
I can't believe it.
The guy wrote Friday the 13th.
And up next we got Frankie.
You don't remember Friday the 13th too, where they tried to shoehorn in that fart contest at Crystal Lake?
Oh, man. Before Jason ran in?
Yeah. So the third contestant
Remember how that woke Jason from the bottom of the lake?
Yeah, actually,
That
remember those
skinny, gipping
bubbles.
girl?
Those bubbles, Bob.
Oh, God, I'm sorry, listeners. I apologize.
Well, guess what? No, it's all right. We're away from fart jokes now because the third contestant, his name, Frankie Fartwell.
Frankie Fartwell from Pete's Super 60 gas station.
Oh, boy. He's having trouble getting it out.
He's got stage fright.
Stage fright, man.
And to which, not Pesci says, you made an ass for yourself.
And that's the reaction from the audience. It's just crickets.
And then we got Bucky.
Bucky. Oh, my God.
My
now,
God.
is what he says when she does it, it's the top of the line. Does he scream, an atomic 8?
I think so.
I was like, why 8?
It's pretty high on the
I would think 10 out of 10, but an atomic 8, you know?
She comes in pretty, she comes in heavy.
Oh, man, she does.
And,
then we get a montage. We get the theme song and a montage. You're like, okay, well, everybody's just going to fart once, right? No,
because everyone has to do it 3 times. And I, for one, was glad we got a montage.
Yeah.
1, I love montages.
2, you love farts.
2, I love farts. 3, I don't want to sit through this in real time. Can you imagine if the rest of the movie was just going to be a fart competition?
Here's the thing, Bobby. I thought the rest of the movie was going to be the fart competition. I'm like, really? It's going to be another 30 minutes?
And we're going to have, like, dramatic pauses?
Yeah, like something's going to happen. Because then there is the part
sabotage.
Where the chief comes up with his elixir, right? His buffalo ball elixir. And he's like, here, drink this. And then he leaves it backstage in a thermos, but pours it into a cup, and a dog drinks out of it. And a dog, at one point, farts so hard that the dog flies through the air like a goddamn balloon, getting the air let out of it. And I laughed so hard when that happened because it was so ridiculous. That's during the montage where they play all the music and everything. Then Kevin's like, oh, look, we can still cheat to win the contest. Shove this microphone up your asshole and go out there and fart.
Yeah, he has a fart amplifier.
Yeah.
Because he's the Donatello of these Ninja Turtles.
But it doesn't work because he blows mud. Yep. That's how it ends.
And so Becky wins by
Bucky
disqualification.
Wins, yeah.
It's a shame because can you imagine being an extra in this scene? You have to sit in an auditorium and chant, fart, fart, fart.
Well, they didn't watch it in real time. They just had the shot of the audience for 20 minutes. So they all
Can you imagine
left.
that's a whole day of filming?
There was...
The fart competition?
God. And there was that one part where they all had to pretend to react to the beauty queen's fart, and they were all like, oh, it's a smelly one.
God.
Oh, my God.
So yeah, Bucky wins, and
newspaper headline.
She thinks that...
There's a newspaper headline.
Yeah. And what does it say, Mike?
It says something about how what is his name?
Grabowski?
Grabowski draws mud.
Awful.
And the Daily Cracks headline.
The Daily Crack, of course, is following this very closely. But yeah, so Bucky thinks that that gross out threw the game for her.
Yeah.
She thinks that he drew mud because he loves her still.
Yeah.
And he wants to get back together, and he wanted her to win.
You know what would be interesting is if he also murdered Pesci a la Fart Attack.
Oh, man.
Because he pulled the same thing where he basically drew mud.
No, here's what should have happened. The frat boys. No, the prep boys.
The fart boys.
Manny, Mo, and Jack, the prep boys, should have stolen that jar of piss.
Yeah.
From earlier in the movie. And right when he's about to do his last one, they drop the jar of pee on him, right?
All the carry?
And then he goes wide-eyed, and all the doors lock.
Oh, God.
And then he just starts going.
So, okay, that's the climax of the first movie. King Frat! It's done. Now we're going to start the second part of King Frat, which has now just become some random movie where it's going to be like a caper.
Now we're just dicking around.
Yeah, now they're we still got a half hour.
This movie is so slapdash and loosey-goosey that they ended early.
Yeah, they've done.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, they
Our movie's
climaxed,
over.
and they're like, ah, shit.
I guess we'll kill time. Let's see what we can do.
Yeah, they're like, it's a wrap, champagne wrap, everybody. And they go, sir, the movie's only 30 minutes.
Oh,
what?
No. Call everybody back to set.
Get that Friday the 13th kid in here. We got to write the rest of the movie. So here we go. The dean's now talking to the security guard, Percy, who's a brand new character.
We're having a loser's party.
Right? And he tells him, Yes, they're having a loser party, and the dean says, "Hey, they're gonna have a big party over at the Pi Kappa house, and they're gonna elect a new president or something," which that never comes into play. No. And they're like, "So I want you to go over there and like do the old, report back to me through a radio type of thing." And he's like, "Okay." So we've introduced a brand new character.
Yeah, Percy's going to infiltrate the losers party undetected.
So here's the thing: Pi Kappa Delta house, right?
Yeah,
we go in.
The party's going off. Before we go in, I gotta point something out.
Yeah.
That upper window.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I was going to say the same thing.
There's a girl trying to escape the house.
She's trying to escape the house. She's naked. She's trying to escape the house, and she says, she says a line like, "Somebody get your hand off my ass."
You got what you were afraid of, Mike.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
There it is. They went there, too.
There it is. So Fred's starting,
At this point, did Mr. Crown pass out? Watching this in his private screening
Well,
room?
that's what he said. He was like, "No, I'm done after the fight contest. You put whatever you want in the rest of the movie. I don't care."
He's like, "I need a nap."
So then, they're having the losers party. Here's the
live
thing.
band.
Percy walks up in a full suit of armor, okay?
Yeah, all right.
And then, goddamn it, a guy who looks like fucking Dennis Hopper from Easy Rider rolls out a second-story window, falls onto Percy, and I swear to God, at one point I was like, "Are you in this too, Hopper?" So it's like, man, I know it's the 70s, and you'd show up in some weird shit, but this would be the top.
This had every Hopper imaginable. And everyone's in costumes for the losers party, and they're all dancing. And at this point, I really was hoping Ms. 45 would show up.
Oh yeah, definitely. Right.
Just the bathroom door.
If you saw that Mr. Met, you knew where this was going.
You hear the horns.
So the Chief, so there is a live band going on, right? And I don't like the part where Chief is dressed like a bunny rabbit, like the Easter Bunny or something, and he's just standing 1 inch from the band, staring them down, just
it's
like
weird.
Death stare.
I don't know what's
he's
going on
doing
with
the
that.
Miss 45 stare at them.
You hear the
yes, and the band is still
and that's
playing.
just gross out next to
Yeah, and the band's still. The Miss 45 through fart sound.
It's just someone farting the Miss 45.
My God. Can some creative listener out there give that to us? We're really going to need that for King Frat 2. We really need that.
It's very important for the soundtrack.
The interesting thing about King Frat 2 is it's also just 2 movies rolled into one. The movie will finish halfway through, and then we'll just lazily
we'll start a different storyline.
Yeah, come up with a different idea.
And that's how we are now. The dean's like, "I'm going to get those damn frat boys for farting on everything."
Yeah, somehow. Don't know how yet, but we'll find something.
We don't need to talk about it.
Yeah.
And during all this, too, there's a guy in a gorilla suit who tries to grope a woman and gets knocked the fuck out.
Yeah. That's Fred.
That was Fred.
Yeah, because he's dressed in a gorilla suit for the rest of the movie.
Okay, that's right.
The rest of the movie.
You're right. I'm an idiot. Some guy in a gorilla suit. Yeah.
And the other thing, too, is when Chief stared at that guy, he's 1 inch from the guitar player, and the guy's like, "Dude, do we keep playing, or...?"
Nobody prepped me on this.
This is getting weird, man.
Like, I'm not an actor. Is this guy?
So then the fart queen shows up at the party.
Yep.
And she's
Bucky
trying
rolls
to,
up on her bike.
Yeah, she's trying to patch things up with NB, not Belushi. And he's like, "It's uncomfortable to talk to you about this in front of my new girlfriend," which is the blow-up doll.
We're really pushing that pretty hard.
Then he says, "I'm going to go take a dump."
And he takes off.
Well, that's what I was
And meanwhile,
expecting.
we have a girl in a big trench coat.
Oh, who's going around flashing?
And someone goes,
everything.
"Hey, Margie, what did you come as?" And she pulls off the trench coat and goes, "Lady Godiva."
King Frat. No. So then we also have just a random cutaway to a belly dancer, which apparently that's something that we watched for 1 minute in this movie, and we'll never cut back to it.
Because we're killing time now.
Yeah, whatever.
Movie ended
Runtime, baby. So then, and not Belushi's in the bathroom. He's eating there's 2 people fucking in a broken tub, and he's got a whole goddamn large pizza sitting on the toilet by himself trying to eat slices of pizza. Like it's a from whence it came type of situation, like easy in, easy out. While people are fucking 5 feet from him, he's taking a shit in a stall while eating a large pie.
I can't. I'm without words right now for what's happening in this
Everything
scene.
is just so over the top. And
hey,
then
what would make this weirder, Mike?
Bucky runs in.
Just goes right into the stall.
And she just runs in and she's like, "Oh, God, I love you." And then he's like, "Oh, you ruined everything."
Yeah, she's trying to be like, "Oh, just like old times," and like sit on his lap.
Oh, God.
It's the great Blumpkin, Charlie Brown.
Yeah. So Bucky just ruins everything for him is what it is, I guess. So then we go back to the preppy guy's house, and Splash and Not Belushi are here, and they break into the house through a downstairs window. So now we're breaking and entering a little B&E, you know.
And with the way this party's been going, too, in the costumes, not only Miss 45, but I was hoping Splatter would show up, too. From Future Kill.
Yeah.
Because these movies all feel like the same movie.
By the way, Splash is dressed as Uncle Sam, which is a nice touch.
As Apollo Creed in Rocky IV.
So I'm like, with the way this... So with the way this movie's going now, I'm like, what's the new prank? Are they going to leave a gas line on and murder all these guys? Is that going to be the...
At this point, maybe.
Oh, my God. Leave a gas line on.
Oh, no.
Fart, lighter, boom.
It's just tubes. They're connecting tubes between the frat houses.
You know what would have been something is like if guys weren't pissing into a bucket, but Gross Out was saving farts in a jar. I could have seen that, and he does a Molotov.
So he could just do the...
He does a Molotov cocktail.
Wow. Man, King Frat 2 is going to be awesome.
It's going to be fucking great. Just imagine Deezen getting that fart Molotov right in his face.
Hey, what's this?
Yeah, he's going to open his lunch at one point. He's like, I packed myself some lunch. And he grabbed the wrong container. Right?
What you got here in the bottle? Isn't this usually on fire? Huh. Boom.
Yeah, so they turn on the gas and they kill all the preppy guys. It's fucking nuts, dude.
Man, it's pretty bad.
King Frat.
And the credits roll.
No. They break the dick off that statue because, of course, they would, and then they steal the statue because it's a prank, you know? And so we're back at the Pi Kappa house at the party trick. We watch a guy do a magic trick, and oh my God.
He clearly watched How to Be Cool at Parties.
Holy crap, though, this magic trick. So, Bobby, he gives a woman 2 fuzzy balls into her hand.
He does.
And he tells her to close it.
Mm-hmm.
And he says...
how did he word that exactly?
I think he just says something like, what goes better...
What happens when you hold 2 fuzzy balls in your hands?
And she opens
something
it
to that
up.
effect.
Yeah.
And when she opens her hand, flop.
It's like a fluffy dick.
We got a big spongy dick.
Yeah, it's I don't think they sell this. So it's like somebody in the prop department's carving a fluffy dick.
I remember my dad when I was a kid had a bunch of like sponge magic tricks he was learning how to do. None of them were shaped like a peen, though.
It's like a piece of foam
my late
rubber.
grandfather did once show me how to fold a cloth napkin in a way that it looks like a dick that is rising up off the table. That was a good Thanksgiving. I really enjoyed that.
Oh, God.
So what you think
guys
of dinner,
also
guys?
farting at the table, or?
Well, I wasn't. That was Grandma.
Was that a new one? He goes, Bobby, your grandfather showed you how to make a napkin look like a dick. I'm going to show you how to make a napkin look like it waves in the fart wind.
That's how we judged.
Yeah.
All right.
You guys did have a fart contest.
We did have a fartometer.
Yeah. Fartometer. Come on.
Depends on where you're from.
So, yeah, she has the big old foam rubber dick appear in her hands. Then Not Belushi gets
like
Bucky.
the 12th most offensive thing that happened.
Yeah,
in this movie.
and then
nothing.
Not Belushi tells Bucky to leave the movie, and she does. We'll never see her again. She gets back on her
because
motorcycle.
he chooses.
Yeah.
She gives him the ultimatum, and he chooses Griselda, damn it.
Yeah, he does. And then he pisses out a window while people are dancing.
Yep.
Then the window falls down and crushes his dick.
Hey, the old Ernest gag.
Now here's the the old
Vern.
That old part
I got caught
when
in the window.
you mean the old part when Ernest gets his dick jammed in a window.
Yeah, you know that scene in Ernest Goes to Camp where he's putting his dick through a window.
yeah.
And
Because he's got like bees on his dick or something.
And it's also wearing the hat.
Yeah. And he just...
that scene where he tried to fuck a beehive?
Yeah.
And in his panic, he got it caught in a window?
He thought he was fucking a blow-up doll, but it was a beehive, and, you know...
This is truly our finest episode, Mike.
So here's the other thing. This is what's really crazy about this movie, Bobby. When the window closes on his dick, you hear the line, "Get your hands off my ass again." The same line, and I go, did we just have a time jump? Did this movie just have... like a time jump where it played the end of the party, but it was like I just got so confused. Like, yeah, I think it just blew my mind.
Time out.
So after the time jump, we go to the preppy guys. They're giving a description of the missing statue to Percy and the Dean. It's the sacred phallus that was stolen, and then the Dean says,
it's 2 feet 10 inches tall. It's 50 pounds. It's well hung.
Yeah. And they're like, okay, well, I know it's the Pi Kappa boys. That's basically what they say. And then we go back to the Pi Kappa house.
He goes so far as to say, this is the rope that's going to hang him.
Yeah. And so then they get the gun, and they go over to the Pi Kappa house, and Dean and Percy are like sneaking around while everybody's asleep on the floor for the party.
What wakes everybody up is they open a door to a closet and cans cartoonishly fall out of it.
Yeah.
Like a children's locker that's too full of books.
Yes, and it's all just a bunch of empty beer cans that fall out.
And he's like, "Ha! Now I've got you by the short hairs."
Yeah, and then Percy pulls out a gun. A gun!
And that's when the dean says, and I love this line, "I'll see this traveling circle jerk in leg irons."
And apparently they say we have a warrant to search the house.
No, you don't.
They want the statue, and if they find it, the guys are all kicked out of school. No worries. Theme song plays. We got some Benny Hill door gags.
Yeah, it's almost like a Scooby-Doo situation.
Yeah, apparently there's something on the toilet.
Yeah, this is when I believe this is when we get a cameo from the school president.
Okay, now what do you think he'd be more upset about, the dean? Finding the statue in the frat house or finding the corpse of the...
Well, considering he was strangling it, I don't think he cares about that guy. Like, man, fuck that guy.
At this point, that thing's decaying, man. Like,
No,
this
somehow
is
it's been
fucked
preserved.
up.
But yeah, at some point, one of the frat guys just placed the corpse on the toilet as a gag. That happened during the party at some point.
Yeah, and so then Not Belushi goes in and he has to sit on the toilet and he sits on the toilet with the statue. Percy comes in and he's like, "Oh, I'm coming in," and then Not Belushi farts or shits on command, and Percy goes, "Oh," and then he leaves, and then Percy opens another closet full of beer cans. Then he sees a blow-up doll in a bed.
Well, he thinks it's a person sleeping, and he comes over and says, "Pardon me, miss."
And then he picks up the blow-up doll, and he's like, "Dean, Dean!" And he's run down, and I'm like, "Okay, Percy, a couple questions I have. One, do you think that was a person that was turned into a balloon or something? Like, why are you freaking out? It's a blow-up doll. It's not like a real person."
What a prude.
And he comes down running.
And also, he weirdly put his gun in the blow-up doll's mouth when he
and it
found
talked to him.
Yeah, and that's when he panicked.
It says, like, "I'm Chucky, want to play?" when he put your gun into this blow-up doll's mouth.
Oh, man.
So, Bobby just got way too interested. Little King Frat 2 for you. Here you go, little preview. You think Chucky's going to make a cameo? We'll see. He comes down and he's like, "Dean, Dean, Dean, I found this in this room." And then the dean pulls out a gun and shoots the blow-up doll through the head.
Yeah. And we treat it as if he murdered Gross Out's significant other.
He says, "You filthy degenerates," and then blows a hole through the blow-up doll's
And
head
Griselda,
with a gun.
with the hole in her now, flies across the room. We get a cameo by Grindbin All-Star Mr. Boom.
Yes, that's true.
Very blatantly.
She hangs off Mr.
Like I thought Pesci from the fart contest was there. That's how hard it is. We back up so far with the camera that we see the whole fucking crew for a second.
Nobody's gonna care. Nobody will notice.
Not one person. So
These
what
boys are
happens
dirty.
now?
They'll think it's part of the seal that it's some shit.
So obviously, Not Belushi needs to avenge his love.
Yeah.
And so we get a full-on Goldberg spear
Yeah, he does
out the door.
He does a Goldberg spear out the door.
Takes Dean Doyle right through the front door.
Yeah. So here's the thing. Then we cut to a sorority house, right? And the Pledge and Frank, who is now dressed up in Fred, who's dressed up in a gorilla costume.
Now, we talked about this all the way back on Muggsy's Girls.
Yeah.
One of my favorite tropes of these Here Come the Boys comedies. Dudes helping dudes peep, man.
This is so weird.
I don't get it, but it was in every one of these movies.
So
back
here's the
then.
thing. Fred, and by the way, why is he in the costume?
Still?
Yeah.
No idea.
Also, it just seems weird. So he climbs up in a tree, and the Pledge is below. He's like, "What do you see?" And he's like, "Oh, I see boobs," because he sees some girl undressing, right? And then she sees him, and she screams, and Fred falls out of a tree and lands on the ground. We cut to later, and she's on over him going, "Oh, I feel so bad that he fell out of a tree." I'm like, wait, this is all... Are we in some sort of bizarre world? Like, these guys were peeping outside your house, and you're concerned that you may have hurt them because you saw them and you Where are we?
Now, I can explain this because I've been through it myself. This is just what happens when you go through life ridiculously good looking. People make exceptions for you, Mike.
So this is the thing, is every guy watching is like, "Oh, that's what happens if you get caught?" Like, they actually want to be with you?
Yeah, they like it.
So here's the thing. The Pledge is now dating one of the girls from the Chinese restaurant, right?
Yeah.
And there's always this little weird plot line about how he wants to lose his virginity and how she's like, "Oh, I'm not ready," or something. So here's the thing. The ambulance pulls up and puts Fred into the back of the ambulance. And the flasher girl is like, "I want to go with him. I feel so bad." And they let her go in the back.
Yeah.
Then the Pledge and the girlfriend get in a car and they drive away. And I'm like, she still likes him after she got him.
It's
spying
weird,
on the whole
and she's
thing?
concerned that he's changing. She's like, "You're not gonna turn into one of those jerk offs, are you?" To which he responds, "Do I have a choice?"
He already is, though.
Yeah, you're one of them.
Yeah.
You can't go back now.
And so then we're in the ambulance, and then Fred's like, I can't breathe. Basically, she just straddles him, and they have sex in the back of the ambulance while it's driving, and, King Frat.
Using the bumps of the ride to enhance the situation.
So here's the thing. I don't think the people who wrote this movie know how sex works.
Nope.
Because I don't know if they understand what it is.
Like... Oh, no, I would believe 100% that this movie had been written by a virgin.
I mean, was he like 12 when he wrote this movie?
Had to be.
Because, okay, we're in the hospital.
I would believe that this movie was written by young Jason.
Yeah.
Right before he went to camp.
Yeah, right before he put the sack on his head.
He's like, I wrote a screenplay, and they said, shut up, and pushed him in the lake.
Oh, yeah. Kid Jason, yeah. And so then the hospital, and his mom was just trying to get funding for it. It's all a misunderstanding.
That's why he was special.
Yeah,
He'd already written a
exactly.
screenplay by that age.
He wrote a screenplay. King Frat.
We're going to have to switch some letters around if we're going to market it.
So then we go to this hospital. This is the weirdest set of non-important characters
we don't know what to do.
I have ever seen is this old couple and this old man, and he's like, I can't piss. I get up 4 times at night and I can't piss. And he's like, I want to piss so bad.
The other members of this movie, she also appears in the future films.
Yes, the lady in this movie.
Yeah.
She's also, by the way, in that Eyes movie.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Eyes of a Stranger.
Yeah, Eyes of a Stranger.
She's in that with all the other King Frat guys. Ass of a Stranger really is King Frat too.
Yeah. The unofficial.
I'm just gonna watch that and treat it as canon.
Just laugh the whole time.
King Frat. No, okay.
So then, so there's an old couple, and the guy's like, okay, here's your thing. The guy says, I can't pee. I haven't been able to pee for days or something like that. There's obviously something wrong with the prostate, dude. Like, you went to the right place. You went to the hospital, right? Yeah, you can't
also
piss.
Not funny. It's just an old man having medical
problems.
He's
like, I literally can't piss. I'm full of piss. You think there's going to be a payoff with that, right?
I was hoping not at this point.
No. But you think, okay, we're doing it. It's like,
I got to be honest with you. I'm a little more square than you. A lot of this movie, I'm like, do we have to do this with each thing?
So then, he's 4 times a night. All I can do is dribble. We don't need it.
No.
So then the ambulance pulls up.
And the doctor has been called to it to see because of emergency.
Yeah.
And they're like, we got to wheel you guys in right now.
So this is where young Jason doesn't understand how sex works, because apparently they've gotten themselves stuck to each other.
They're fused.
Now,
isn't that true of some animals?
I think they talked.
I don't remember which animal it is. I remember learning that as a kid and thinking it was funny.
This happened in another movie.
Pigs, I think.
Grindbin All-Star getting stuck in sex together. Enter the Ninja.
You're right.
When they apparently got fused together in a hot tub when they were both murdered mid-coitus in a hot tub, and there was that part where the mob boss like, I gotta prime apart.
I forgot all about that. So
that was really fucking weird.
Yeah, and she's concerned because she's also nude.
That was Revenge of the Ninja. Sorry, not Enter the Ninja.
That's right.
Yes, okay.
And she goes, I can't go in like this. And they think about it and they go, I got an idea. And they put a bag on her head.
Yeah, they put a bag on her
Murray
head.
Langston style.
So she rides through Murray Langston style, straddling a man in a gorilla outfit through a hospital, and everybody's just staring at him like, what the fuck? And then the old lady sees it, and she's like, you fucking kids today, because the Pledge and his girlfriend sit down on a bench right next to this old couple, and the guy's like, I can't piss, and she's like, you kids today, all you want to do is fuck everything, fuck this, fuck that. I'm just like, man, this movie's moving at a fucking mile a minute, man.
Because they're just trying everything. They don't know what to do now.
Then the doctor pulls her off Fred's dick. He pulls the flasher lady off his dick. And I don't think they know how sex works.
Nope.
So
but we got a pop sound,
I didn't
which
even
is
know
cute.
how that would. Anyways, so we're back at the Pi Kappa house.
This is when we see the corpse on the toilet.
Okay.
It's this scene, not the earlier one.
So the Pledge and the nice girl are kissing in the car, right? And she doesn't want to take it past kissing for now. And okay.
I can't believe that this all led to Tommy making out. Yeah. Everything that's happened.
Everything that happened, she's like, oh, it wasn't really you looking out the window or something.
And they're just not ready yet.
So now
this is like Alan Jackson's Chattahoochee. I was willing, but she wasn't ready, so I settled for a burger and a grape snow cone. I dropped her off early, but I didn't go home. Know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Yeah.
There's something about a lady with a straddling a gorilla in the middle of that song.
Yeah.
That was where everybody couldn't
The
understand
Pyramid of Cans and the Pale Moonlight was talking about the Pi Kappas at Yellowstream University. Alan Jackson went to Yellowstream University.
He was the Pledge.
I knew it.
So then we're in the
Do you know what a
next-
Chattahoochee actually is?
Oh, there's a whole Yellow Stream story about it. The chief will tell you.
Oh, my God. VH1 storytellers, they weren't even allowed to air it.
So
Who
then-
knew? Alan Jackson all this time.
So the next day, not Belushi, the Pledge, and Fred are driving around the town, and they're like shocked the Pledge is a virgin. They're like, we got a plan to, quote, remedy the situation. Cue the whorehouse.
Well, because that's the only option they have. Otherwise, they have to kick him out of the frat.
Yeah, they're like,
because
so
those dudes have all...
it's just go to a whore.
consummated.
Go to a whore is what they do. They're just, it's
Right.
just constantly. So we go to this rub and tug, right?
Veronica's massage parlor.
Yeah, which is not even hiding that it's a brothel.
Yep.
They go in here. Now, here's a fucking crazy
See
thing
what was
I didn't
parked
know
outside,
if
by
you
the
noticed
way?
about this scene that's coming up. It's just very fucking weird that they didn't reference this. Again, it could have been a major plot point in this movie, and they just fucking walk right over it. Don't know if you noticed this, but it's really weird. So anyways, they're in this brothel, right? And they're like, pick out your girl and everything. They're doing the old lineup.
Is that how that works?
And Not Belushi's, I have no idea, but apparently, yeah. So Not Belushi's like going behind each one because he's obviously been here before.
He knows them all by name.
Well, actually, he has been here before because the madam says, oh no, did you bring your fucking blow up doll here again? He's like, hey, don't talk ill of her and all this stuff. It's
Man, I can't believe their relationship had gotten to that point yet.
he's bringing his blow up
They're
doll
trying to
with him?
introduce third people into the situation.
Three's all right with her.
Hey.
Right? So he's going behind every girl saying like, oh, how, like, don't pick them, don't pick them. She goes, look, we got a special girl for you. I'll call her in right now, right? So he goes into a room. There is a part where Not Belushi grabs the boob of a woman.
He gets slapped.
Yeah, she slaps him. And they cut away before he winds up to punch her, which I was like, what in the
You know what?
fuck?
I'm glad they cut away. Because I saw
He's
him...
doing a fucking Ralph
I saw
Cramden.
him post up to send her to the moon.
Yes!
And I didn't need that.
I was like, whoa.
And like we said earlier, at this point, fuck, anything could happen in this movie.
You know they filmed
He
it.
could have killed her.
You know they filmed it, Bobby.
Well, they probably did.
So then they need somebody special. Yeah, it's called the secret weapon. Then a blind priest walks in, right? A blind priest. Okay? Remember this guy, Bobby. Remember him.
Okay.
Okay. Apparently, Not Belushi knows him, too. He's like, oh, hey, father.
Because he's seen him there.
And the guy's like coming in and everything. He's a blind priest. And he's here for, I don't know. I don't know if he knows I don't know why he's here. Because it's not clear. Then we go to the Pledge. He's in the tug room, right? And the girl comes in, and you just see her legs and the negligee she's wearing. And she goes, oh, usually guys come in with their pants off, you know, if they want to screw. So why don't you just flip over? We'll get to the good part. He flips over, and oh, boy, it's his girlfriend.
Mm-hmm. Who saw that coming?
She is actually a rub tug employee.
Yep. I see why she wouldn't want to tell him.
But, yeah, all right. So that's it.
M. Night Shyamalan shows up.
I don't really know where we're going with this part. It's just like, okay.
None of you could have predicted this would happen.
It's a lot like the Screwballs 2 scene where he dresses up like that Asian.
Yeah. And at one point, too, one of the
By the way, can I just say one thing about
go ahead.
Screwballs 2 before we get off it?
Naturally.
That guy who stars in Screwballs 2, look this up, by the way. He has starred in a direct-to-video instructional video on how to be a ninja. The star of Screwballs 2 is in a VHS for children called How to Be a Ninja, where he puts on a permanent Asian accent and teaches you how to be a ninja.
Oh, no.
Oh, yeah, it exists, man.
Is this coming to the mini bin?
Oh, yeah, and it stars the guy from Screwballs 2.
Oh, man.
So then we're back at the old Pi Kappa house, right?
Mm-hmm.
They put the old dildo and Groucho glasses on the statue, you know, they're dressing it up. The boys... you half expected the university president to be sitting in front of that thing.
Yeah.
So what if they said, we'll give you your statue back, and they just brought him the corpse of the president?
But it's in a wheelchair with a Band-Aid on its head.
Yeah. Looking like a glass baby. So then the Splash comes in, and he collapses, because apparently the preppy guys beat the shit out of him, right?
They're hip to who most likely stole the statue.
Yeah, there was like a scene where they're like, we'll give you
They're like,
money.
look, we know who did it.
Yeah, they know who did it. So they kick his ass. And he's like, he's all hurt. And then Fred's like, we should just give him back the statue and end this movie. And then Not Belushi picks up the statue.
He picks up a keg, and he overhand throws it at the statue.
And it breaks into 3 different pieces. And Fred just looks at the camera. He's like, well, guess that's done, huh, audience?
Nope. Could have ended now, but
Whoops.
here we are. And then Gross Out gets drunk and goes to the Alpha's house.
Yeah. And he's screaming, and then he throws the head of the statue through the window.
Yeah. And then we have a very iconic line where he yells, "It's King fucking Frat on this campus. It always has been."
Yeah.
He's declared war.
And
Like,
that's it.
the time for jokes is through.
And here's the thing. The preppy guys don't understand what it's like to be in a frat house, apparently. It's just a prank war, man. Just get them back. You know what I mean?
We don't gotta go to violence.
Do you not understand that you just, if they steal your statue, you go steal the blow-up doll? Like, it's just a gag.
It's what we do.
Yeah. So then they're like, all right, we're going to get a plan to get them back. Go back to the pie house. So apparently the screenwriters of this movie are like, look, just fucking end it. We don't even know how they're going to do a prank. So just have them walk behind a string with leaves. Their plan is to sneak up to the pie house, the Pie Kappa house, behind a string with leaves on it, pretending they're a moving bush, and
Perfect.
6 men are carrying a close. I don't even it's so fucking stupid.
And as the battle begins, someone actually goes so far as to blow a conch. We actually get a full.
Yeah, that's when they ran out of ideas because there was 10 minutes left in this movie, and they're like, let's just make the end the whole fight scene.
This is like the Anchorman fight.
Yeah.
I expect someone to throw a trident.
There's 10 minutes left in this movie. This goes on for at least 8, right?
Yeah. I mean, and what, the paramedics from earlier show up, and bodies are just getting tossed in there when people get knocked out.
Uh-huh.
All of our extras are there. There are flamethrowers at one point. Well, not... they didn't just buy flamethrowers where this is King Frat after all.
Oh, yeah. No, it's a bend-over flamethrower.
We have organic flamethrowers. This shit is going back to the Dark Ages.
You know, in King Frat 2, that's definitely going to be a joke. Organic flamethrower.
Oh, yeah.
You know, when he gets the quinoa frat.
We gotta update.
So then the medics show up at some point, right? Well, the dean shows up with like a bullhorn. He's like, stop fighting, stop fighting. And then he's trying to break it up. Then the medics show up. By the way, the nerd guy is keeping score with tallies. And it's us
who's
and
winning
them.
the fight.
Yeah. Then the medics show up at some point and they're wheeling people out, including Fred. He's done. He's just gone. They reel him back in they're like, oh, not you again.
That dude gets hospitalized way too much.
One guy they send off in a gurney, he just gets hit by a car and I guess dies.
Yeah, we
So
got a
they
body count in this movie.
Fart attacked another man to death. I was just thinking how ridiculous it would have been if you had a Vietnam flashback where Gross Out's using the organic flamethrower. Like a real, platoon style slow motion.
Hello, darkness, my old friend.
Yeah, slow motion as guys are running out on fire, and then you pan back to see that it's just Gross Out lighting his asshole. They're like, we ran out of fuel, we're out of bullets. And he goes, I'll do it for everybody. And he pulls down his pants.
Jesus.
Man, that was a hell of a battle. Yeah.
I've seen some shit, man.
Fart Chop Hill,
Fart Chop Hill. Ought to be ashamed of yourself, Mike.
That's all in King Frat 2, baby. As Deason has his Vietnam flashback.
This is
that's
how
gonna
we
be the thing.
extend the olive branch to Eddie Deason. We've written a role that's perfect for
That's
him.
going to be the thing. Is Deason's going to be like, the uptight dean, but then he reveals that he's actually a lot like them, and then he goes back to the flashback about how he saved all his friends in Vietnam by using his organic flamethrower.
Oh, man. That's the big surprise at the end?
Yes, yeah.
That he's actually a super old school Pi Kappa?
Yeah.
They didn't even
we
realize?
We see Eddie Deason light an entire army on fire, light the whole jungle on fire, all at the fucking end of that Forrest Gump scene.
God, the big napalm airstrike?
Yes, it's napalm, but it's Eddie
just him
Deason
hanging out of a helicopter?
Yes, it's Eddie Deason hanging his ass out of a helicopter.
This is the most immature fucking episode. I love it.
Hey, man, it's King Frat.
It's King Frat.
What are you
It
gonna
had
do?
to be.
So anyways, the cops show up and start beating everybody up because why not, right?
Yeah.
They just do a little police brutality at the end of this movie. Why not?
So everyone gets hauled
It's
in.
all the way. By the way, they all deserve it.
Yeah.
I mean,
there are no good guys.
This is
in
one time
movie.
I'm like, yeah, get them, hit them with the clubs. In fact, hit them hard.
Like,
it's
we're
like
rooting for the cops.
It's like. I felt like Trump in that part when he goes, when you put him in the car, make sure
so
you
what
rough
if you
him
hit the
up.
head? He's a criminal. He deserves it.
I was thinking that at this point. I'm like, yeah,
no.
just hit him a little bit.
Make frats great again, says Mike.
So then we go to the courthouse, a trial, various exhibits.
Speaking of what you said earlier about like they're just trying to figure out what to do here.
Yeah.
Now this has turned into a courtroom
Yeah,
drama.
by the
for
way,
last
I
couple
figured
minutes.
out a great way you could have ended this movie, and I'm going to blow your fucking mind if you don't know anything
man.
about this connection yet.
An organic flamethrower.
Yep. So here we go. Various exhibits on display: blow-up doll, head of Dionysus, a dildo, of course. Then the dean's rolled into the courthouse in a wheelchair and arm wrestling. He's like, "We got you now. We got the judge that hangs people. You guys are going down. Fuck you." So the court case ends because it ends immediately because the lawyer for the defense just stands up and he goes, "This nerd guy read a treaty, and apparently the school is
The land actually belongs to the Kisawang.
Yeah, so-
which is the tribe that Chief Latrine belonged to 50 years ago.
So the chief owns it.
So
All
these
this
boys aren't
is
guilty. They were defending their land. They were standing their ground.
null and void, apparently. Yeah.
None of this matters. By the way, during this, the corpse of the school president is in the crowd. He's just back there.
Okay.
Is he just one of them now?
I
Did
guess
they
so.
induct him into the
yeah, he's a new
podcast?
pledge, man. So he's in the group photo and everything. If you don't think he's going to show up in King Frat 2, you're wrong.
Oh, yeah.
If you don't think there's somebody who's going to like surf on him or some shit. So anyways, the judge goes, "All right, well, not guilty," and he bangs the gavel, and that's it. Now here's the thing, Bobby. Here's the thing. The judge is the same man that was the priest in the whorehouse.
I didn't even notice
Yeah.
that. Oh, my God.
And I was like, the way you should have fucking ended this movie, not with some dumbass treaty that makes no sense, is you should have been like, "We know you. Where have I seen you before?" And the judge is like, not guilty.
Pretty sure you're mistaken. I've never seen you before in my life. Bye.
Yep.
Threw the whole thing out.
That's how you end the movie.
That's better.
Because it makes sense. Because
And it doesn't
is
involve
literally
that racist-ass character.
Yes, it literally is the same actor who played the guy. And I was like, I thought that was going to be the big reveal because I noticed, I'm like, oh, that's the priest. And I looked up IMDb. He plays both characters. No, they didn't do that. Because it's King Frat, baby. We don't do that. We're also going to have a whole thing where Deason plays a bunch of characters a la Eddie Murphy and the Clumps
you
or
have
something.
to.
Yeah, of course. So anyways.
So we're on to our epilogue now.
Is it? End
so
of the
whatever
movie?
happened to all these people?
Oh,
Turns out we're flashing to the future.
Yeah.
Gross Out has become the dean of Yellowstream U.
Yeah.
Or actually, it's not Yellowstream anymore. The school got renamed to Kisawang.
Yeah, Kisawang University.
Run by Dean Gross Out.
Yeah. And the preppy guys are like, "Why are you putting us on probation or something?" He's like, pfft.
That's why.
Then the credits roll over a child burping.
Well, because, he's got this adorable child is Kisawang class of 1999, setting up for the future. And he looks at the camera and burp.
King Frat.
King Rap.
So you know definitely that's the intro for King Frat 2. Is we're just going to show that kid, and a little...
Is it about the class of 99?
Of course it is.
Ooh, I like it.
99, everybody's listening to, Limp Bizkit and such.
Oh, God. We need a new metal King Frat. God, King Frat sounds like the name of a Limp Bizkit song.
Yeah, lots of cargo pants in that movie. You'll see. It's going to be
pockets
great.
inside the pockets.
Yeah. So what do you think? Do you recommend King Frat, Bobby?
God, this needs to be seen to be believed.
Oh, 100%.
Like, I can't help but say, yeah. I mean, this is the most offensive movie.
Oh, yeah. This is biggest of the biggest.
Like, it is. And it runs the entire spectrum of offensive material. Like, there's stuff that you're chuckling at, there's stuff that you're laughing your ass off at, and there's stuff that you go stone-faced at.
Yeah.
Of just like, no.
Yeah.
No, don't
It
do
runs
this.
the gamut, man.
I can't believe it. It blows every other movie away as far as something extreme, as in terms of a comedy, obviously.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, I it's weirdly a recommend. Do I think this movie's good? Fuck no.
Oh no, it's a horrible
But
made
it doesn't
movie.
want to be.
Oh no, it's...
And that's the weird thing. And I thought I'd hate it more than I did because I hated Surf 2.
And you hated Screwballs too.
I didn't care for Screwballs 2. I didn't like Surf 2. I don't like these movies.
Yeah,
and
you're
I'll
not
tell you
a big
this. Here's the
comedy
thing, though.
fan.
I gotta
like,
be
in
honest
terms
with
of
you.
frat boy comedies.
It's true. I don't tend to like these movies, but I knew this was perfect for the show. I don't like King Frat. Do I want to watch it again? No. Do I think you should watch it, dear listener? Yeah.
Yeah.
You need to see this
a
one
good
time
one.
and then never again.
It's a great one.
What about
you know
Mike?
you're
Like
getting
a high
that.
recommend from you,
Oh,
Mike?
of course. I know you're getting the Blu-ray.
Well, I have a sickness, Mike.
Bobby just resigned. Like, you can't see it, listeners, because this is an audio podcast. As Bobby just resigned and shrugged his shoulders, like, yeah, I'll be.
Yeah. I just
shelling
had
out
that
the money.
hello darkness, my old friend moment. I looked off and then flashed back to all the movies I have bought that I didn't even like.
Yeah, he's getting it.
Oh, God.
He wants that commentary.
Oh, you know, I'd want to hear that, honestly.
It's just a series of farts.
Hear anyone who's still around? There's a fartmentary?
Yeah, a fartmentary.
There needs to be a fartmentary on this. If ever a movie deserved it.
God, well, if King Frat
It would be
2
Mob
gets off
Boss.
the ground, guys, we are definitely doing a fartmentary. Okay? So you hear that sound?
Yeah, I couldn't help but hear that sound.
And you hear that smell of, obviously.
Do I hear that smell? That's intense.
Wow.
Yeah, I do.
How do you think Bobby and DeVito fit in the world of King Frat? I think we know. Come on.
I mean, there's a couple possibilities, but here's what I think.
Mm-hmm.
You know, during that epilogue, you know, we see whatever happened to Gross out. We flash back to the house, you know, the frat house.
Yeah.
And there on the couch is the corpse of the school president, a patched up Griselda, and in between them, DeVito. And he goes, you know, I think we're gonna like it here. And then Griselda turns and goes, I'm Bobby, you into studs?
Okay, now here's the thing. You could easily do like, oh, you know, they're going to have a new year and there'll be the new pledges next year or something like that. No. See, I think it goes much deeper.
I went a little too easy.
I think, like, we see the Kissawong University sign and we pan out a little further, and we see that we're actually in some sort of snow globe. Oh. And that Bobby is just shaking it in the back of that straight arrow, just to himself, as he imagines this whole movie in his mind. Because this would be the perfect movie for him, as he has that real, whatever that TV show was, where the kid was just looking at the snow globe the whole time.
What show was that?
I'm forgetting the
God
name of
damn
it.
it.
It was some sort of doctor show or something like that,
Yeah.
where they're like, we're just going to end it by saying it was all some autistic kid in a room. Well, this is all just an autistic
that's-
kid in a van.
God
You know?
damn, Mike, that's fucking beautiful.
It's just Bobby
It's the
imagining.
only way it needed to end.
Like, it really is like the inside of Bobby's brain, as he's sitting there shaking that snow globe, going.
He's just thinking to himself, King Frat. He's the boy who would be king.
Is this just like a little dream for him? A little nice dream.
God, that's perfect, Mike. Oh, it needed to end that
It's
way.
almost like kind of a Christmas Evil thing. Like maybe he's looking at it, you know, and laughing and giggling to himself, and he goes, and then he walks down and he sees his dad fart.
And he smashes the snow globe.
So thanks for joining us again on another episode of The Grindbin. This was King Frat.
Oh my God! In what could be some of your last episode of the Grindbin.
Hey,
We understand.
woo! So you can find us at grindhousefilm.com. We're Twitter at GrindPod, Facebook Grindbin Podcast. We're on Instagram, The Grindbin Podcast. You can check out our YouTube channel if you'd rather watch the shows on YouTube. I'm also
Very easy way to do it. Mike's been uploading all of the old episodes that way.
Yep, and I'm kind of current on them too as well. And then I also have a bunch of gonna upload more trailers. I got like a collection of old trailers that I'm putting up on the YouTube channel because it's not, you can't copyright a trailer.
Yeah.
So
That's a great idea.
Finding good trailers and I'll put them up there for you. So check them out.
Also, you know what? Tell a friend.
Yeah,
Easy
that would be nice.
grassroots way to get the word out about our show. If you enjoy what we do, let somebody else know. That's how I even ended up on this show, was somebody just telling a friend about it. So
That's true.
So yeah, scream it from the rooftops.
And
Tell
we-
everybody to ride with the Grindbin.
Yeah, we inducted Bobby into this. We made him carry around little straight arrow diecast cars in his asshole, and he got into the show.
Yeah,
So,
that was my pledge.
Yep.
I made it through.
Yeah, we all got to go through it.
One day I'll be King Frat.
So yeah. And join us on our Patreon if you want to hear all sorts of bonus episodes. Last month we had a Twilight Zone with Charles Bronson, and we had another episode of Boys Will Be Boys where they went to Mexico, and boy, that was a fun one. Woo! How do you think Fox Television 1989 deals with Mexican culture? Find out.
About as well as you think.
Fox. Hashtag Fox as fuck.
Bobby?
King Frat. See who comes the closest, trying to be the grossest, always misbehaving, everybody's waving. King Frat, King Frat. Anyone who comes to the show only wants to live at King Frat.
Hey, Bobby, I got the money.
Yeah, I mean,
got no real rhythm.
Hello, Pizza Man.
We're gonna play a little game, baby.
I just love fun and games. Get a little girl all hot and horny.
This is Los Angeles.
How the hell would women live? I'm horny.
And maybe Daddy would have had to kill himself because he couldn't get it up anymore.
What a shame.
It's for jacking off.
Come on, just step on the gas before we get green.
And